Just search Premium or tell your device, listen to Sports on TuneIn to get in the game.
I'm Brandon Schneider, head women's basketball coach at the University of Kansas. You're listening to Big 12 Radio on TuneIn.
Big 12 Today with Ari and James. Monday through Friday, 8A to 11A Eastern Time. Your home for all things Big 12.
Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio. Good morning. Back in Dallas, fresh off 2 days of Big 12 basketball media days with Ari Timken on social at Ari Sports, ARI Sports. I'm James Westling. Taman Turner is producing and engineering. We were in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center for Big 12 women's basketball media days, followed by the men's basketball media days. So we're live in studio for the first hour, then we'll hit you with a ton of interviews that we gathered. We talked to over 60 players, over 30 coaches over the last 2 days. We'll hit you with Houston men's basketball in hour number 2. You'll also hear from Kansas State head coach Jerome Tang and a couple of players. Baylor, another team we'll highlight in hour number 2, and then hour number 3, we go with Kansas women's basketball, looking for a bounce-back year under head coach Brandon Schneider, followed by West Virginia women and BYU women. So over the next couple of days and next week, you'll hear a bunch of Big 12 basketball media day interviews. Ari, what's top of mind?
You're really all business today. You know, I usually James and I alternate who leads the show, who drives the show every day, and you know, so it's pretty well established each day who's going to be leading. And I don't know, about 90 seconds ago, I was like, hey, you want to lead today since James is off Monday? So James, I guess, is scared of my reaction to how Kansas is beating Kansas State on Saturday, might wanted to avoid some sort of confrontation on Monday. So he just decided, let me go ahead and take off on Monday. So hugely disappointing. So because of that, I was like, you know what, 90 seconds before the show, I'm gonna throw James into a tailspin.
Curveball. I've got my Kansas State hoodie on today.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the old school. They call this the cocaine willy. That's what they call it, with the powdery whiskers. That's a real thing.
I know.
It's a fantastic throwback logo.
And considering the sign of the times, I mean, I'm sure Willie was all up in that cocaine.
Sign of the times. Yeah. Call me Harry Styles. It's going to be a massive Saturday.
Is that, by the way, recognized by the university as being a cocaine Willie? Or?
I mean, I don't think they use those exact terms, but this logo's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
No, it is. It's a good logo.
James, I do have to ask a question. Mm-hmm. My question is what is your mascot? Because when we were at Big 12 Media Days, I see like half of a mascot and half legs.
It's a great question, James.
What is the mascot of K-State?
Well, it's Willie the Wildcat. Everybody knows that.
Wow. That is new to me.
Okay, and he has this giant Wildcat head.
Okay, I saw that.
And then he wears a basketball uniform or football. And from about the neck down, he's human, but from the head up, and it is a powerful head. I mean, from the shoulders up, he's all Wildcat.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Taman. You're a half man, half Wildcat.
Okay.
What would you prefer, the human brain or the Wildcat brain?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with the Wildcat brain.
Yeah, because you have to take emotions out of it. So give me the Wildcat brain.
I don't know if you know this, Taman. Humans have evolved over time. We've got opposable thumbs. Like, we've got great brains.
We're pretty smart, Taman. But Wildcat brain, I get it. Very fast. We all gas, no brakes.
It's cooler. It's like a kid. A kid likes to see coolness. So a Wildcat is, they have speed.
Okay, so that means then you agree with Willie then. You'd take the puny human body that can't run or jump or maul people to death. You take that over the Wildcat body and the human brain, which to me would be both the best of both worlds. The intellect of the human with the incredible body of the Wildcat. Imagine you're a Wildcat. You have a Wildcat brain. You think like a Wildcat. And you start to run, and you realize, oh, wait, I'm just a fat guy. I can't run nearly as fast as I used to think I could run as a Wildcat. Oh, I can't climb trees that well? Oh, my balance isn't that good? Imagine how that Wildcat would feel.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. So Monday, it's purely coincidental. I call it load management. Okay? It's load management. I'm not scared of your Hawks.
Basically, The amount of time you spend with me, you've got to manage the
I
load.
have to manage that time. You guys are pranking me this morning. This mic, like I can put it way out here, and it just finds its way back.
By the way, do you want to go play poker with Chauncey Billups?
There it
I
is.
got a great in to playing poker with Chauncey Billups.
Where were you when you found out Chauncey Billups had been spearheading a massive gambling rink, an undercover gambling organized crime organization?
Where were you when you found out that La Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian mob, was still a thing in the year of our Lord 2025?
Like, this is insane. And there's a Big 12 tie. He played at Colorado. He was a top 3 NBA draft pick, and in a lot of ways kind of put Colorado basketball back on the map because they had been bad for so many years. And they finally get a highly touted 5-star kid, McDonald's All-American, to stay
From the
home,
area, from
the
Denver.
area, to stay home, play for the Buffaloes. They went to NCAA tournaments. Then he goes on to have a very successful NBA career. This is nutty.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's the current head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. You know, the obvious question is there couldn't have been as much money in that as what he had been making as an NBA player and then post-NBA as a head coach in the NBA. Terry Rozier is a current NBA player who's made hundreds of millions of dollars. Apparently was like tanking games and telling people to take the Terry Rozier under.
Yeah.
For thousands of dollars. There's a story here where one of Rozier's relatives won $1,500 from a sports book on a Rozier bet, and then later in the week lost $4,000 at the same sports book. Like, what are we doing?
It's nutty, man. So Chauncey Billups is the head coach, or was the head coach of the Trailblazers, Portland, and essentially he was helping this group draw in high-dollar, wealthy victims into these poker games that were completely rigged.
By the way, you don't have to put victims in quote. They are victims.
Yeah, well, good point. I don't know why I did air quotes there.
Victims? Allegedly took money.
You don't have to go to the poker games. And they were using, like, the technology, high-tech stuff to rig these games, like modified shufflers, special contact lenses. They had an X-ray style table, and they had cameras everywhere, and guys back in a lab that are relaying messages down to what they called the quarterback at the table. I mean, it's stuff straight out of a television show.
Yeah, and there was people have unearthed this podcast episode from a professional poker player who basically says, like, yeah, he was invited to one of these games, and, you know, he knew from other friends had playing in it that it was not on the up and up, that it was basically that this was happening. These are pro poker players that were invited to play out there under the guise of playing with Chauncey Billups or Damon Jones or Terry Rozier. But the wild part, and this is what he said, and this was from like May of 2023. This is a podcast episode for a professional poker player from May of 2023. So a couple years ago. And basically what he's saying is, it's like, yeah, it's so obvious, like when you've got a guy that is playing against pros and he goes in with garbage, you know, if you know poker at all, like right. he limps into a hand with garbage and then, you know, bets into it. Like, you've got bad hand, you've got nothing, and you keep betting into it, and then you get cards. It's just, you know, like, there's some obvious things that were happening there, I think, to everybody. And basically what he was saying at the end was, what this poker player was saying at the end was, like, yeah, there's really nothing we can do about it. Like, take the hit and realize you don't ever play with them again, because I'm not sure they tipped off the FBI or who did. But when you contrast the start of the NBA season and a 7 feet, 6 inch tall freak of nature on both ends of the floor, and what he's doing with Victor Wembanyama to start the season, and you contrast that with this news with the NBA, it's just an interesting first 48 hours of the NBA season.
Dude, it's been so wild. And there is a scene in that Netflix show, Black Rabbit, with Jason Bateman and Jude Law, that plays out exactly like what was happening in real life with Chauncey Billups, where Jason Bateman is a victim and he gets in and he realizes it, and then there's nothing you can do. You're surrounded by the mob. You realize that you're going to lose whatever you came with and some, and then the Terry Rozier stuff, like, that's been circulating for over a year, because it was very obvious in some games that he was playing way below his skill set. throwing games. And then you find out in 2023, to your point, he was telling friends and associates to bet his under because he was going to leave the game early. He played the first quarter. Early in the second, he fakes an injury, gets pulled for the rest of the game. It's insane.
Yeah, it's I mean, that in particular is some of the stuff that, everybody had cautioned when it came to legalized sports gambling, right? Like, this stuff could happen, especially when it comes to, historically speaking, the mob influence. I mean, here we are, over 110 years after the Black Sox scandal, when gangsters apparently paid the White Sox to throw the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds in 1916, 109 years ago, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally over a century ago, the same stuff is still playing out in sports.
It's just it's ironic for me because we were talking over the weekend about the Kansas City mob.
Yeah.
At Media Days.
Yeah.
We were talking with Edgar, our content director, and oversees a lot of this show, and we were talking. He's like, what's that show where the Kansas City mob had a huge role? And I said, Ozark. That was it. And then all this mob stuff over the weekend. You're right about Wembanyama. He looks AI generated.
He does.
When I'm watching him handle the basketball at 7'3", 7'4", whatever he is, and he's out on the arc and he's bouncing the ball and hip high for him is like 6'5", and then he just crosses guys over. He's dunking. He's canning threes. It does not look real.
Anthony Davis is a healthy 7 feet tall, and he made Anthony Davis look tiny. Like, standing next to each other, it's like Anthony Davis looks like you or I.
All right, to add to that, the Mavericks had Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, who's also 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
He looked every bit 6'11".
Yeah. It did not matter. Victor Wembanyama is a Hakeem Olajuwon as a guard, which is insane. Like, that's literally a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, AI generated was a great call. So it's like at the same time you have this 7'6" freak doing things that he should not be doing, and you have like the Sicilian mob and Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier.
What year is it? Where are we?
For the record, Chauncey Billups has maintained his innocence, and his lawyer says that they look forward to their day in court.
Well, of course he has.
Just throwing it out there.
He's a victim. Taman?
Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. This is America.
It's
after
called
all.
the justice system.
The justice.
Okay.
So, important note today, I am heading out, driving up to Lawrence, Kansas after the show today. So we've got this 1 hour live we're doing from the studio, and then we're going to be playing some of the interviews from men's and women's basketball media days that we haven't heard yet. So I'm returning back to the Kansas City area to go to Lawrence tonight with my family. It's a much quicker flight than drive.
Yeah.
Should be about 7.5 to get us there. And then I actually ended up buying tickets for tonight's game. We want to take the kids to Allen Fieldhouse, and figured great opportunity to do so would be to go to the volleyball game between Kansas and Kansas State tonight. And that will be played at Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas has a great volleyball facility. They just beat TCU, 10th ranked TCU in volleyball.
Yeah.
And so they've got a huge match tonight against K-State, and they're playing it at Allen Fieldhouse. So that'll be fun. So doing that tonight, and then going to go to the football game tomorrow.
That's going to be so cool for your kids.
Oh, but don't worry. I'll drive back 7.5 hours on Sunday so I can do the show Monday.
Oh, okay. This guy. Captain One-Upper here.
Shots at you.
That's
throwing shots
Lieutenant
at you.
One-Upper?
Lieutenant Timpkin. Lieutenant Timpkin. There's his nickname.
No, Lieutenant One-Upper. Thanks.
One-Upper.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Haven't graduated yet.
But, dude, that's going to be so awesome because they'll be in Allen Fieldhouse. You'll get to walk them through. Allen Fieldhouse has an entire birth of college basketball exhibit. It is part museum, part arena. And with the volleyball crowd, even if it's a quarter full or half full,
Right.
You'll have awesome seats,
Access.
great view of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, should be great.
Dad of the year. Hoist the trophy.
I mean, I don't want to say anything, but yeah. I mean, no, keep it coming, but stop.
Clearly.
No, but keep it coming. Yeah, more.
All right, we got
Let's
some
stop.
injury stuff to get to. Baron Morton, it's been reported that he will serve as the backup emergency quarterback.
Let me just stop you right there. Who are they playing this weekend?
They are playing Oklahoma State.
Okay, so you're Joey McGuire. You've had a quarterback that had some injury issues. Who's starting for you today or tomorrow?
Not that guy.
Yeah.
Not the guy that's been beat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Will Hammond will get the nod for Texas Tech.
Trying to build some confidence. You're a 38.5-point favorite. I still don't think that's enough points, even with Will Hammond starting. We'll pick the games in a little bit, but yeah.
That game is also in Lubbock. Oklahoma State has a left tackle who's graded out as a top 4 offensive lineman in the Big 12. He just announced he's in the portal. He's already got his list down to 5 schools. He's churning out social media content where he's going to be visiting in or after the season, however that works with the new portal window. So Oklahoma State goes from bad to worse, potentially, as they get ready for Texas Tech. But the other big one that could have a major impact on what I think is kind of a really underrated, massive game in the Big 12, Houston at Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham had this to say about wide receiver Jordan Tyson's status.
I'm not ready to comment on that right now. This is something I'm, trying to protect him from himself. I mean, that dude's a competitor out there, playing the end of the last game, making plays. So this is something that, we're making a decision to kind of protect him from him a little bit because he is such a competitor.
Could keep him out potentially multiple weeks. He's not going to play against Houston. What does that mean for that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, really bad news. And this should be a good game. I don't know that the Tyson injury impacts the outcome, although we will preview this game coming up, and there's certainly some elements that I like because of Tyson's injury. But, I mean, you could tell within the game on Saturday he was limping around a bit. And that I think that's the part that really sucks about this is, obviously Arizona State still won the Big 12 championship without Tyson and went toe-to-toe with Texas without him, which was impressive for Sam Leavitt to be able to do. But, I mean, this appears to be a soft tissue injury, whatever it is, based on just limping around. And, it's not like a bone break or something that's pretty obvious that will be like, well, he's out for this amount of time while he gets this fixed. Like, to me, it's clearly, not to just wildly speculate, but it's clearly a soft tissue injury, which means this is something that will linger the rest of the season. And it's not, I mean, you can try to make it better, have him rest, sit out. Who knows how long he'll be out, and who knows the severity of the injury. I mean, he's literally missing a game. They're not holding him back in the same way that Texas Tech might be holding Barron Morton back because you're playing Oklahoma State. This is a big-time game in the Big 12.
Arizona State's season is starting to hinge on injuries. I mean, that's kind of been the overarching storyline surrounding the Sun Devils with Sam Leavitt missing a game and now Jordan Tyson, their 2 studs offensively. We are previewing more games coming up after the break. We'll also make our picks before we dive into all of our college basketball talk. We're fresh off Big 12 basketball media days up in Kansas City. He's Ari, I'm James. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios. You're listening to us exclusively on TuneIn.
Direct snap. He keeps it. And now you
Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio. You're dialed into us exclusively on TuneIn, where tomorrow you can hear Kansas State at Kansas and Houston at Arizona State. Those are our Big 12 games of the week. TJ Reeves has Big 12 game day leading up to the KU K-State kickoff. We also have all of our Big 12 Media Day interviews via our podcast page. You can find those wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, right here, tune in on demand, Apple Podcasts. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. Emmanuel Sharp and Milos Uzan will be joining the program here in about a half hour. Talked to them the other day. Emmanuel Sharp has lost a lot of weight. Like, he looks much more, not to say he looked out of shape last year, but svelte. He is one svelte dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, motivation is key, and you've got two guys that are extremely motivated. Emmanuel Sharp did not play well, especially down the stretch of the national championship game, and Milos Uzan, whose play catapulted Houston to the national championship game, did not play well in the Final Four. I mean, they don't get there without him. There's no doubt about it throughout the season and in the tournament, but did not play as well as he needed to in the Final Four. And despite that, Houston's still possessions away from winning the national title. So, I think you've got two guys that are highly motivated, and, we'll see how that plays out. And maybe, I don't want to say a better team, because without Juwan Roberts, like, there's just things he was able to do that they're not better, but probably more talented. More talent than Houston had last year.
No Juwan Roberts and no LJ Cryer this year, but I do think they're better, because I expect Milos Uzan to take another step in his game. Emmanuel Sharp, the only thing that he couldn't do last year was take guys off the dribble. And when I say take guys, he still had a lot of success off the dribble, but I think shedding that weight, becoming a step quicker, he's going to be able to do that at a higher level. He's already an elite shooter. JoJo Tugler's back, preseason national defensive player of the year. I love that team. I think they take it. I think they take it this year. All right, Big football games tomorrow. Sunflower Showdown. Also, BYU and Iowa State. This game is in Ames. 2:30 Central, which is Iowa State time. 3:30 Eastern. Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. You can watch it on Fox. Iowa State is a 2.5-point favorite at home against the 11th-ranked team in the country, BYU, who is 7-0. Iowa State started 5-0. They've lost 2 in a row. By the way, BYU has covered 8 of its last 11 games on the road, and they're 8-1 as a road underdog in their last 9. What's the lean here when you look at this matchup?
Yeah, so BYU and Iowa State did not play last year, but did play in BYU's first year in the Big 12 in 2023. It was a 45-13 win for Iowa State and a bad year for BYU. They've obviously since figured it out the last 2 years, but BYU has never beaten Iowa State. BYU is 0-5 all-time historically against Iowa State. And, I mean, when you look at their numbers, BYU entering Week 9, number 1 nationally in red zone defense. They've given up just 9 touchdowns on 21 trips to the red zone, a ridiculous number. I mean, 21 trips is a small number. They're not letting a lot of teams into the red zone, but only 9 touchdowns against 21 trips and 14 scores overall. They also are top 5 in the Big 12 in scoring defense, rush defense, pass defense, and total defense. And I think the biggest challenge for Iowa State, James, in this game will be to match the physicality, of BYU. BYU has a very physical running game, and this is going to be a very physical game for Iowa State. It does look like Iowa State will have a full deck in terms of Carson Hansen should return in this game. Kyle Conrarty, their place kicker, is expected to return in this game. And Dom Orange heads into this game with a questionable designation. So those are 3 potential huge adds to this lineup against BYU.
Especially Dom Orange, the defensive tackle, listed as questionable. If he goes, he's going to have a massive impact in this game. Because Bear Bachmeier, his quarterback scrambles, he's averaging 4.5 yards per carry, even with the sacks in there. And then LJ Martin has been an absolute beast for BYU. I look at turnover margin. Obviously, is going to be huge. Whichever team wins that, I think, wins the game. that has leaned more BYU. They're tied for the Big 12 lead in turnover margin. They're almost +1 per game. But then also, can Iowa State get some explosives in the passing game? Like, you don't think of Iowa State as an explosive offense, but their wide receivers, when they're throwing the ball to receivers, they're averaging almost 16 yards per catch collectively. So those wideouts they've been big time for the Cyclones. Meanwhile, BYU's defense, one of the top passing defenses in the country in terms of yards per reception, they keep everything in front of them. They've been elite in that area.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that about, they've got to be able to hit on big plays, because I think that's completely the key here in this game for Iowa State to win it. When you are only giving up 9 touchdowns and 21 red zone trips, if you're Iowa State, you look at that and say, we got to hit big plays. We got to hit them early and often. We cannot grind you down. We need to be able to take shots. I think the surprising thing about the receiver piece you bring up is their top wideout in terms of receiving yardage is Brett Eskildsen, who's had a good year, but when we talked all offseason about Chase Sowell and some of these other targets they brought him through the portal, and it's been Eskildsen, the guy that has been the best. And then I think Ben Bramer is a guy that we thought coming into the year would be really good at tight end. He's 6'7". He's a really difficult matchup. I'm with you. I think this game will be all about Rocco Becht. If they can hit plays down the field and really keep BYU on its toes in terms of, BYU not being able to run the type of rush offense they want to run in order to win this game, that would be crucial for Iowa State to build a lead and win this game.
Iowa State, with a loss, would drop their third straight, coming off a bye. Let's pivot to Houston and Arizona State. So this is a larger spread when you factor in Houston's record. Arizona State is favored by 7.5, even without star wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Houston enters at 6-1, 3-1 in Big 12 play. Arizona State's 5-2, 3-1 after that massive win over Texas Tech. Game starts at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ESPN2. Mañana, what's your take on that matchup?
Yeah, both teams are coming in hot. Arizona State feeling good about itself coming off the Tech win, and how about Houston walking it off against Arizona? Look, I think the Jordan Tyson loss is significant from the standpoint of if Houston's defense, and specifically their rush defense with Carlos Allen, if they're able to keep Arizona State behind the chains a little bit, now you're in much longer third down situations, and who's their money down guy? Who's Arizona State's money down guy? Jordan Tyson. Like third down, fourth down, red zone, whatever, they go to Tyson. So to me, the most crucial part of this game is what happens on first and second down. And if Arizona State, which stylistically they want to run the ball, they want to huddle, they want to take a lot of clock, like if they're unable to do that, then Houston's going to win this game. But that's where I think Tyson will be missed the most is where are they going on third down situations where normally Tyson is money on those situations?
This is a really, really intriguing game because it reminds me of when Arizona State went to Kansas State last year as about a 7 or 8 point underdog. Nobody thought a thing about Arizona State. They went into Manhattan and led by 3 touchdowns at halftime. That was the big, holy smokes, Arizona State is a really physical football team moment. Houston, I think, is better than people think. They're elite defensively. They're physical. They've got a dual-threat quarterback. That defense for Houston, I do think, without Jordan Tyson, is going to make life very difficult for the Arizona State offense. I mean, Connor Wegman has been rushing for anywhere from 60 to 90 yards per game. The offensive line allowed 0 sacks last time out against Arizona. They've scored 30 points offensively in back-to-back games for the first time in 3 seasons. So this this Houston offense, I think, is better than people think. I mean, they ran for 232 yards against Arizona. They're going to try and establish the ground game early. And then for Arizona State, I think spot on, like Malik McClain, the tight end for Arizona State, those guys are going to have to be big. I don't think Arizona State has a running back that they can lean on like they could Cam Scadaboo towards the tail end of last year when Jordan Tyson was not healthy. So this one is, I think, a coin flip game. I really do.
The other one is Prince Dorba is doubtful. That's his designation. He's a pretty significant piece to their defensive line. And, again, when you look at what these two teams want to do, they both want to run the football. I'd say that I'm probably more confident in Arizona State throwing the ball, but Arizona State doesn't have Jordan Tyson, so it feels like that's a bit of a wash to a degree. But, yeah, I mean, without Dorba, is Arizona State as effective at stopping the run? Because if you don't stop the run against Houston, forget about it. That's line one. If you don't stop the run against Houston, forget about it.
Yep. Ground game, which quarterback limits mistakes? Because both have been really good. Connor Wegman has been managing this offense. Sam Leavitt has won 11 straight when he doesn't throw an interception. So if he can keep a clean sheet, but I'm not sure, man. Without Jordan Tyson, he can do that. It's going to be really interesting.
Well, and James, we're on the same page here. I wrote down, the home field advantage piece helps Arizona State, but to me, this comes down to turnovers. I know that most games do, but it just feels like more than anything, the two evenly matched teams, you can kind of go either way in terms of, well, Tyson's out, will Dorba play, that kind of stuff. So turnovers will be the great equalizer in this game. We're going to come in on Monday. Well, I will come in on Monday. You're not going to be at work on Monday, but I'll come in on Monday. And whoever is plus in the turnover differential in this game is going to be the winner.
I'll be on a float trip Monday. That's the real reason. Just kidding. Kansas State at Kansas, and then Baylor at Cincinnati, a couple of games with really close lines. KU's favored by 3.5 against Kansas State. Cincinnati's favored by 3.5 against Baylor. Your take on those two?
First time in 16 years that Kansas is a favorite against Kansas State. James? First time in 16 years.
And I could see why.
16. That's an interesting number, is it not? I don't know why.
Because it's a Sweet 16.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Sweet 16 celebration if KU wins this thing.
K-State is going for 17 straight. If I'm Lance Leipold and the Kansas Jayhawks, I'm plastering 16 everywhere. I want this team to be extremely motivated to know that that is not good. That is not acceptable. That is not okay. I mean, within this game, I very evenly matched teams, similar two teams in the midst of disappointing seasons. You could argue K-State's in a more disappointing situation, but I'd say both are in the midst of pretty disappointing seasons relative to preseason expectations. What we've seen from Kansas's rush defense, though, of late makes me extremely nervous. But then you counteract that with, like, Jalen Daniels has been really, really good this year. And, like, he had the one fumble on the 1 yard line against Cincinnati, but beyond that, he's been flawless. I mean, he's really been flawless. And it's interesting because it feels like Emmanuel Henderson is, like, the one piece they have at receiver. Like, they haven't gotten a ton from Bryson Canny and Cam Pickett, or two guys they brought in the offseason. It's kind of been the Emmanuel Henderson show. Now, they do get their tight end involved and growing, but so credit to Daniels for what he's doing at the quarterback position with basically one, significant weapon here, as opposed to the last few years where they've had 3-4 pieces that would catch passes for them. So, yeah, I mean, this is basically about which defense shows up more. Is it the K-State pass defense or the Kansas rush defense? Because that's going to be crucial. Or we just end up getting a shootout, and ultimately it's the passing offense that exceeds what the rush offense can do for K-State. Because I'm not confident that either side can stop either side.
Yeah, I think you're right. In very different ways. Kansas State's going to be ground and pound. Kansas State's been one of the best teams in the country in their red zone scoring. They've scored on 21 of 22 trips. Kansas State's starting to get better in terms of sustaining drives with their ground game and staying ahead of the chains. But KU's explosive plays, especially off of play action with Jalen Daniels, who's been one of the best quarterbacks in the country analytically off of play action, is a major sticking point. On the flip side, I think the path for K-State is their third down defense has been really good, top 3 in the Big 12 on money downs. And then also Kansas State leads the Big 12 in fumble recoveries. So Kansas State's going to be trying to wrench that football loose. They're going to try and get Jalen Daniels to make mistakes when he does take off with the football. So turnovers, Avery Johnson, if he can come unglued for some big runs, I think that's the angle for Kansas State.
Can I tell you something?
In Lawrence. And then the other thing, lastly, can Kansas get out of their own way?
Yeah.
They've been so close so many times.
Yeah, last 2 years especially.
Right.
I wouldn't say so many times. For about 10 years, 15 of those, 10, 12 years, you're talking about 55 to 13 games between Kansas and Kansas State. Can I tell you something that really bothers me about college football media in general?
Okay.
The red zone scoring number. The red zone is at the 20-yard line, yes?
Correct.
So that number should be close to 100%.
Yes, it should be very good.
So, and it's not just you. You just referenced that K-State's basically at 100% in scoring in the red zone. But all college football media does this. I want to know how many touchdowns they've gotten. Yeah. And in this case, it's 13 touchdowns and 21 trips. Not bad, 62%. But yeah, they're 20 scores out of 21 attempts, which is probably where you should be in college football, knowing that maybe your kicker will miss one or two gimmies, but for the most part, I just hate that people always reference like, oh, they're 100%. It's like everybody is or should be. If you're not if you're at like 70% scoring rate in the red zone, and I mean field goals and touchdowns, then you have a bad kicker. I'm always concerned with what's your percentage of scoring touchdowns in the red zone, which is still pretty good for K-State, by the way. For Kansas, it's 59%, 61% to 59%.
Huge difference. I actually think the red zone should be expanded. Coaches now reference the red area, which is the 30-yard line.
The red area.
They call it the red area.
It's not quite a zone.
It's not a zone. It's an area.
Just an area.
I'd love to know what the red area numbers are.
At what point does the red area become the red zone?
At the 20.
Got it. Okay, so there's a 10-yard area.
There's a 10-yard area.
Why don't we do a 10-yard cushion beyond that? How about you get to the 40, now you're in the red cushion.
I like that, yes.
Red cushion, here we
They're
are.
Different shades of red.
Very cozily positioned here in the red cushion.
You've got a red zone, then you've got kind of a salmon color, and then maybe a light pink rose from the 40-yard line. That's it.
Yep.
All right, up next, we are picking these games. It's Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, exclusively on TuneIn, and then you're watching us on Big 12 Studios, the Big 12 Fast Channel.
Short field for the Wildcats. Fafita wants to go deep.
Big 12 today on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn. Watching us via your Roku device, Amazon, Fire Stick, or Prime, DirecTV, YouTube. You can find us just about anywhere on Big 12 Studios. We are about 15 minutes away from checking in with the Houston men's basketball team and Emmanuel Sharp and Milos Uzan, a couple of preseason All Big 12 guys.
We might look a little bit different if you're watching us.
Did they change clothes?
And go to a different situation, location? It's the magic of television.
We're going to teleport courtside to the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Almost called it the Sprint Center. That'd be a no-no.
And then teleport back so that I could drive back up there with my family.
Why didn't you just stay?
Because I'm a good dad, James. I'm not
Dad
gonna let my family drive by
Holding your
themselves.
trophy.
What am I gonna do? Yeah, here, let me just stay in Kansas City for the next 2 days and just,
Yeah, no, I
have fun.
get it.
You want to leave Ari in Kansas City by himself?
No.
That could have been a problem.
I don't want to leave him in Kansas City with a posse of people surrounding him, protecting him. All right, Taman, we are picking these games. We are picking apparently 6 games this week because Stormy's obsessed with Oklahoma State and won't let this season go. So, Taman, why don't you lead?
All right, so we have coming off first, Oklahoma State at Texas Tech.
Do we start with Stormy?
Let's start with Stormy.
All right, what's going on? Another week, another Oklahoma State embarrassment. That's all I can say. Let's start with Oklahoma State. At Texas Tech.
Embarrassment.
I predicted to win the
That's
national
all I can say. Let's
championship.
start
So
with Oklahoma State.
Even
At
giving
Texas
Oklahoma
Tech,
State 38
who
and
I
a half,
predicted to win the national
Texas Tech.
championship.
It
So
hurts.
even
It hurts my soul.
giving Oklahoma State
I
38
should
and a
burn
half,
my hat.
Texas Tech,
That
Red
one-
Raiders.
But I think
It
I'm
hurts
right on
my
that
soul.
one, unfortunately.
I should
We
burn my
need
hat.
A
That
spring
one.
cleaning.
But
shall
I
we
think
say,
I'm
at
right on that
Oklahoma
one.
State.
Unfortunately,
Well, I think it's
We
happening in
need
real time.
a
Texas Tech,
spring
Oklahoma
cleaning,
State, the line
shall we
we
say, at
are
Oklahoma State.
grabbing it at 38 and a half.
It's that hook. It's getting you, right?
I'll still take Texas Tech. I think they're angry after suffering their first loss against Arizona State. I just think they're that much more talented. They could run the ball on every down and still win this game by 40. I'll take Texas Tech to cover 38 and a half.
I cannot remember the stretch, but in the period where Kansas was super down, they went, remember, 2 seasons without winning a game. They were about to set a record for most consecutive games not covered. And they didn't. They ended up tying that record in the game against Oklahoma where Caleb Williams ended up winning it at the end. It was crazy. Travis Goff was inviting fans in at halftime, but they covered that game. It was the first game they'd covered in a decade, whatever it was. But the reason for that was Vegas did not, there was no bottom, and so Vegas kept, misevaluating how close Kansas was to these other teams. And I think that's what Vegas is doing right now with Oklahoma State. I don't think this is enough points.
Right.
In the same way that last week it was that's a lot of points. Yeah, and you took Oklahoma State plus the points.
It bit me.
Yeah, so I will also, that's a long way to say, I don't think Vegas has properly evaluated where Oklahoma State is and how bad they are. Give me Texas Tech minus 38.5.
All right, T-Chains.
Kansas State at Kansas Sunflower Showdown. I said that right.
Wow, save the best for first, I guess.
Sure, yeah. It is Sunflower
Kansas
Showdown.
State at Kansas.
Kansas State at
giving up 3
Kansas.
to Kansas
Kansas
State.
giving up 3 to Kansas State.
In-state rivalry. We don't have
In-state
one anymore.
rivalry.
They killed Bedlam.
We don't have one anymore. They
I'm
killed
gonna take
Bedlam.
Kansas State.
I'm going to take Kansas State.
All right, so Stormy Warren points. 16 straight for the Wildcats. James, where are you going?
Well, for the sake of this show, I have to take Kansas State, rocking the K-State hoodie today here on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios. The path is Kansas State just rams the football into the teeth of that KU defense time and time again, frustrating Jalen Daniels and the KU offense who can't get on the field, and K-State wins this thing on the road, led by their rushing attack. Win the turnover battle. I think K-State can do it.
I mean, I'm taking Kansas minus 3 because, of course, I am. The streak ends here, James. The streak ends here. 57% of the tickets are on Kansas, but only 43% of the money. So the Sharps are betting on K-State.
Ooh, okay.
All right, were you still at Kansas the last time they won? They beat Kansas State?
What? No. I mean, I graduated in 2007, so no.
Okay. I just wanted to.
We beat K-State when I was there. The streak started afterwards. So, yeah, I'll take Kansas -3.
Yeah, we were like right out of college.
Wow. A long time ago.
Thanks, Tam.
I mean, remember? You had Mark Mangino, and then you didn't, and then you were atrocious.
Well, the last time
decade.
KU beat K-State, they beat them by 30. Just destroyed them.
Oh, that's all they do. That's all they do, James. All the Jayhawks do is beat K-State by 30, except for the last 16 years.
Yeah.
All right, we got next, guys. BYU at Iowa State. We'll have Stormy take it away.
Eventually, I've got to win. Iowa State -2.5 to BYU.
BYU's probably
going to win this game, but I'm going to pick the Cyclones. I'm going for the Cyclones.
I like BYU in this game. I think BYU continues to be underrated. Defensively, their passing defense, I think they win the turnover battle close. Maybe just one extra possession is all they need. I know it's at Iowa State. I know they're coming off a bye. I can't imagine Iowa State losing 3 games in a row, but I just believe BYU's that good.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm going to be betting against the sharp money here. I'm with you. I'm going to take BYU +2.5. This line opened at Iowa State -1.5. It then drifted to the 2.5. So, I mean, sharps are betting this thing towards, or the money's being bet this way towards Iowa State. So I just think undefeated Cougars, their running game, the money downs, the red zone, like they're very effective in the red zone. They're very good on money downs. They're very good with their run game. They're very physical. I just can't in my right mind pick against them in this spot. BYU +2.5.
All right, guys. Up next, Baylor at Cincinnati. Stormy.
The only game I feel really confident about this week is Baylor at Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to pull this off. I think they're better than they've been playing. And I think Baylor is really good. But I think Cincinnati rises to this game, and they pull it off.
Look how positive Stormy is. I think Baylor's really good. He's being nice. He's being super nice.
Baylor's really good. But it's also his most confident pick of the season.
Is it yours? And
I'm with him. I'm the hook makes me a little nervous. We have it at 3.5 points. I could see it coming down to a field goal. But Cincinnati, I'm starting to believe they are the team of destiny this year. Their offense has been remarkable, and I haven't seen anything from Baylor's defense that makes me believe they can keep them out of the end zone. I think Baylor's only path is they get a couple lucky breaks in the turnover battle, but turnovers have been an issue for Baylor. They were -3 last week against TCU. That was a weird game that had a bunch of weather delays that made the final score way closer than it actually was. TCU led by 3 touchdowns at one time in most of the game. So I think Cincinnati at home pours it on, and they cover.
I mean, Baylor did have the ball after an onside kick to go ahead. But, yeah, I mean, it was a weird, furious rally at the end that was improbable. I'm taking Cincinnati -3.5. This one, I'm with Stormy. It seems like the easiest pick of the weekend. I mean, crazy things can happen, but look at what Cincinnati's offense did to Kansas's defense. Look at what Cincinnati's offense did to Iowa State's defense. They are going to feast on Baylor's defense. Cincinnati's going to have no issues scoring and producing against this defense, and then I think over time, that stresses Baylor's offense, and that's where Sawyer Robertson throws interceptions. That's where they have turnovers, because it's all on him. So when your defense can't get stops and your running game's inconsistent, now you put your quarterback in a situation where he's got to make all of the plays and all of the throws, and that stresses him. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati puts the pressure on Baylor's offense, and over time I think that stresses them, and I like Cincinnati to cover this one easily. Cincinnati -3.5.
All right, Houston at Arizona State. Stormy, it's all you.
Houston at Arizona State. Who the heck knows? But I'm going to go Sun Devils -7.
From Stormy Warren from the Big 615. I like Houston in this game. We are having the line right at 7. It's moved to 7.5 in favor of Arizona State because the public loves the Sun Devils. But I think Houston on the road, they have shown that they're very capable of winning football games on the road. They won at Oregon State. They pounded Oklahoma State last time out on the road. And almost 250 yards rushing against an Arizona defense that was really good coming into that game analytically. They win the turnover battle. Connor Wegman, I think, alone can keep them in this football game. He's got 11 touchdowns, only 2 picks. And Arizona State, without Jordan Tyson, I don't know that they have the backs and the rushing attack against that Houston defense that is top 20 across the board. Passing defense, rushing defense, yards per play, EPA, all of it. They're really good. I think it's a close game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Houston plus the points as well. Again, I think if Houston's defense can bow up against the run on the early downs and stress Arizona State in third down situations without their third down guy in Tyson, to me that flips the script to Houston's favor. Give me Houston plus 7.
All right, final one, guys. Stormy, what are you going to pick between Colorado and Utah?
Given Colorado 13.5 points, I don't know. That's a lot. Utah's good, but are they that good? We're going to find out. I'm taking Colorado with the points.
That is a lot of points. Colorado at Utah, 13.5. But I think Utah covers. I think Utah covers by 2 touchdowns. Colorado's been playing much better, fresh off that upset win against Iowa State a couple of weeks ago. But Utah, I think Kyle Whittingham, his teams bounce back over the years in a big way. Devin Dampier, I just think, is that much better than Caden Salter. And Utah with their rushing attack, I'll take the Utes.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's funny. I thought you were about to take Colorado plus the points the way you started this thing. But, here's the thing with Utah you have to look at in every game they go into. Can they play the way they want to play? Can they run the ball, and can they stop you defensively? Well, I mean, Caden Salter had a really good game against Iowa State, but they have a much better defense right now, I think Utah does, than Iowa State did in that game. I also think I'm not certain that Colorado's defense will be able to stop Utah's rush attack. So it is a lot of points, but at the end of the day, I do think Utah is able to control this game from line of scrimmage and win by 2 touchdowns. Give me Utah minus 13.5.
Did you take Cincinnati or Baylor?
I took Cincinnati. We took all the same.
Except for one.
Sunflower Showdown.
Sunflower Showdown. KU and K-State. The stakes have never been higher.
Literally.
I don't know what that means, but yes. By the way, we're having a nice year. You're 23-17. I'm 24-16. Return on investment, 14.5%, even with the juice. So if I put 1,000 down, I'd net 145.
Look at that.
So far this season. Call me S&P 600. Beating the stock market. That's what it's all about. This is way safer.
Way safer, obviously.
But we're having a good year, collectively.
Don't jinx us. I'm coming off a few bad weeks here.
Are you?
I think in the last 3 weeks I've gone 5, 8, 11. I think I've gone 4-11 the last 3 weeks. I went 2-3, 2-3, and 0-5.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good. Not great.
So
not great. Bounce back week.
Yeah, huge bounce
back week.
Huge bounce back spot. It starts with me going to Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, what's the number one?
LFK.
The number
Lawrence
one spot.
Freaking Kansas.
I know you're hitting more than just the stadiums.
Yeah, we're going to go to Free State Brewery.
Okay.
Great spot down there in downtown Lawrence. And then there's a bunch of other places that are brand new because Lawrence looks a lot different than it did 25 years ago when I went to school there.
Yes, it does.
Wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it.
Awesome. Have a good trip. Go Cats.
Thank you. Have a good trip. Rock Chalk. Just remember, James, every man a wildcat.
Every man a wildcat. Emaw. We're frenemies today.
And Taman, that's why Willie is half man, half wildcat. Or is it a third man, 2/3 wildcat?
Half wildcat, half man.
But is it half? It's just the head.
Yeah, but the head's, it's a big head.
Okay, good.
It's a large head. Taman, don't send him a text if K-State wins. Ooh. I'm telling you, he's going to be big mad. Don't do it.
Yeah, X-nay on the text.
X-nay on the text, nay. At least give him a couple hours to cool off.
Taman made the announcement that he's taking over in the full-time capacity, but that may be a short-lived run.
Yeah.
If I get a text.
He'll fire back with some personal attacks.
I don't know.
I tell you from experience.
I owe Ari something because he threw some shade at me when the Cowboys lost to the Bears.
Well, we're just going tit for tat here. I'm just getting you back for the first time.
Yeah, I'm petty.
We're at even now.
Very petty.
We're even now.
All right. Rock Chalk, Emaw, all the things. It's Big 12 today on Big 12 Radio. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios, and up next, we sit down with a couple of Houston men's basketball players, Emmanuel Sharp and Milos Uzan. He's Taman. Ari, James, you've been listening to Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, watching us on Big 12 Studios.
It's overtime.
Big 12 Radio, this is Big 12 Today, heard on TuneIn and watched on Big 12 Studios. Along with James Westling, I am Ari Temkin, and we're joined by a couple of ballers from the University of Houston. Final Four national title run last year, which fell a little bit short, but There's only one winner in a college basketball season, right? Manuel Sharp, Milos Uzan joining us here on Big 12 Radio. Do you guys think about that game at all?
Which game, Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I feel like, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's the natty game. I mean, obviously, you're gonna think about it. But I use it as fuel. We trying to get right back there this year. So we take what we learned from that game and just try to apply it as much as possible this season with this new team. Seeing how we can get better and just try to get back to Monday night.
That's the narrative we're painting too, by the way, that you guys are back in order to get what was rightfully yours, which is a national championship, because Houston was as good as any team in college basketball last year. And I mean, you look at how close it came. I'm sure as a competitor, that's the part that's like, man, we were so close at the end of the road.
That's the worst part about it. We know we had it in our hands and we let it slip up. So
now you got to get it.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
100%.
And I said that as a Kansas fan and alum, but you guys got to get it. I mean,
it's right there. We got so close. We know what it takes. We know that it's not going to be easy, that there's going to be bumps, but we're cut out for it. We got returners, we got vets that have been there. So we got the tools to get back there.
Do you guys feel like Houston basketball is overlooked nationally? Like going into the tournament, you were probably the least talked about one seed. We knew how good you guys were, but everybody's talking about Cooper Flag and Duke and Auburn and the other one seed in whatever region that was. And it's like, man, what about Houston?
I mean, maybe so, but we try not to worry about that too much. We like to talk about our facility like it's a bubble. We just stay within that bubble. We control what we can control. We can't control what people think or say about us, and that doesn't affect how we play on the court. So as much talk as there may be, we would rather it not be about us. We like to fly under the radar. That's fine with us. We do. We come out every game with the same mindset. With the same competitive mindset, regardless of what people think about us.
Milos, how close were you to leaving?
You said how close was I?
Pretty close.
I was pretty close. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, shoot, I knew the opportunity coming back, just to continue to get better, the reason I came here was to get a national championship. So I feel like I have another shot at that now, and it was too hard for me to pass up on that. So,
Milos, your coach, Kelvin Sampson, was telling us about that phone call. I think we talked to him shortly after that announcement, and he said, yeah, had some big family reunion, and Milos called me, and I said, okay, you coming back or what? Like, it was just so nonchalant. It's all the media people would talk about is he staying? Is he going? And he's like, yeah, just one phone call, and he's back. So did it go down like that?
For sure. No, that's my dude. I definitely stayed in touch with him the whole process, telling him, like, how my workouts went. But, yeah, when I called him one night, I think it was probably, what was the deadline, the 28th? Yeah. Probably a couple of days before that, I told him I wanted to come back, and he was like, all right, let's do it. So he was all in.
Manuel, what was last year like for you? I mean, felt like it was so up and down. You had injuries. You were in a lineup. How tough was that? And, I mean, did you feel like you were playing your best at the end of the year?
Yeah. I mean, I still feel like I had another level to me. I was, last year was so up and down. Injuries. It was all types of stuff. I mean, it's a long season, mentally and physically. So, but, at the end of the year, we were playing great basketball. So, I was happy where I was at. But, I got a great support system. The coaches, my parents, my teammates. So, regardless, injuries or, how I was mentally, they kept me, on a straight path. I was good. So, it was great.
Man, watching Houston play is really entertaining. People think, they don't score a ton of points and it's a slower but it's not. Like, it's not that way. You guys just defend so well that it feels like it's a slower game. Yeah. Because opponents can't get a shot off for the first 27 of the 30 seconds on the shot clock. So what's the part of your game, and this is for both of you, that you take the most pride in?
I would say playing hard. That's the foundation that should be, the foundation for, our our whole team and how we play, and that's the main takeaway I've taken from since I got here. That's the first thing. You can't start playing good, offensively or defensively if you're not playing hard to begin with. So, I feel like everything builds up from there. So if it's one thing that I could take away from Samp is how hard he's gotten me to play, and I pride my entire game on playing hard and giving 100% effort every play.
How does he do that?
He got his ways.
He's got his ways for sure. But it's a process. Since a freshman, it just you gradually learn how to get up to speed with that just by taking his hard coaching, getting beat down in practice physically. I feel like with Coach, it's a lot of mental warfare that he builds you up mentally, and that makes us the great players that we are, is that he gets you to a point where you can't get yourself. And I feel like the turning point for all the players that come here is once we've reached rock bottom, and we feel like we can't do anything right. But then once you surrender to the program and the culture and how we play and the effort it takes, I feel like you get better from there. When Los first got here, he had one of the roughest times I've seen. But once, he learned how to do things and, how to play with, the consistent effort, and he was one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard in the country.
Why'd you stay? Yeah, I mean, a lot in the modern world, like people, but I'm not like, it's just interesting, right? People are looking for easy ways out, right? I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, like, you could have, right?
Sure, for sure. I feel like I love playing for Coach Sampson last year. Like, just the whole process of him, like he said, man, he hit a spot on the nose. Just kind of breaking you down and then slowly building you back up. I think I had great leadership around me with E-Man and Juan and LJ, just being there, and Coach Q just being there and making sure that my mental was straight. And then honestly, when I took off, Coach Samp gave me great confidence, and he stayed with me. So,
and it's a really good point that you brought up, Emmanuel, with his season and what he went through. It's almost like you went through 3 seasons in one, with how it started versus how it finished. So what was the support like from your teammates? And mentally, how much did that test your resolve?
Yeah. I mean, their support was tremendous. Just being there. And it wasn't just me going through it by myself. These dudes were going through it as well. It wasn't like I felt like I wasn't being a victim and Coach Samp was just only picking on me. He pushes everybody. So, I mean, I feel like as soon as I changed my mindset and realized that, I started to do better. And like he said, once I started to really embrace the culture and just be where my feet are, embrace where I'm at, that's when I started to become a little better.
It is really interesting, too, because there's like these stereotypes of the modern era of players and athletes, and like, well, they don't want that kind of coaching, or they're going to, jump at the first opportunity to do so. And then here's Kelvin Sampson, like, bringing in big-time players. Yeah. I mean, so it's interesting. It's like people that say that aren't really paying attention to how the world works, Yeah. Like, that's not everybody in this generation that's, like, looking for the easy way out, you know?
But it's not for everybody, you know. But that's why I feel like they do such a great job at recruiting and getting the right guys here, guys with the right attitudes. Like, you hear Coach say it all the time. Like, he recruits good guys. Like, he doesn't recruit a-holes, guys that go against the grain.
Guys, yeah.
So the coaching staff does a great job, and it's not just like Samp, like, berating you all the time. Like, there's a bunch of positive coming from that coaching staff. Like, Coach Samp gives us the utmost confidence every day, and that allows us to play good. So it's not just
right.
Why would somebody come here? It just sounds so bad. Like, this is a great school with a great program and a great coaching staff, and they give, I think, the best coaching that there is to offer.
Does he still have those 2 little dogs?
Yeah,
running
for
around.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. What's her name? Lady? Am I tripping?
Lady and
Roxy. I know I'm tripping. Yeah. They pulling. They there every day.
He's like the toughest coach in America. He's got these 2 little dogs. Lady and Roxy.
Yeah.
Hey, how are the freshmen that you guys brought in? How's that? Those
good.
Relationships.
Yeah, they're good. They're gonna be really good. I think right now they're they're going through some adversity and they're going through some tough times, and I think how they're responding is good. They're getting better every day, and that's all you can ask. Just continue to grow every day.
How do you guys finish the job this year?
Stay where you are right now. Don't look ahead. Just continue to embrace the journey and keep grinding and growing every day.
Thanks. And I'd say just try to get more connected every day. I feel like last year's team, like, we got better every month. Like, we can't have months where we just staying the same or getting worse. Like, we got to improve each month, win or loss. You know, we take every game and we learn from it, and, you know, we're going to get better as the year goes on.
Milo Suzanne, Manuel Sharp, appreciate you guys. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
University of Houston basketball here on Big 12 Radio with James Wesley. I'm Ari Tepkin. It's Big 12 Today and Big 12 Radio on TuneIn and Big 12 Studios.
Big 12 Radio, this is Big 12 Today here at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, talking K-State hoops with Jerome Tang, King McClure, Ari Temkin. King, I'm going to let you start it off because this is your former coach.
One of my favorite people in this world. Coach, what are the vibes now with the team? New roster, you have, in your words, some dudes this year, some real dudes. What's the vibes right now around Manhattan?
No, man, we're feeling great about our team. Not just because they're good players, but their approach to basketball. I mean, they have a very mature approach to basketball. They show up every day, and they put in work. They have a high care factor. Like Coach Ream says all the time to me that this team spends more time together away from basketball than any team we've had before. And so they built that chemistry, and you can see it. And the closer we're getting to, they're in that stage right now where they're tired of hitting each other.
Yeah.
So
ready to hit somebody else.
Yeah. The closer we get to the game, but they keep grinding, and so I'm excited. I'm excited to see the ups. I'm excited to face adversity. I'm excited to see the downs because I know they're gonna handle things the right way, and all of that happens during the season. But looking forward to doing it with these guys.
It's crazy to think of how much different the sport is than when you were at Baylor and as an assistant. And I mean, it's like the season ends and it's like, okay, let's build a roster. I mean, just talk about the difficulty involved in that. Of like the season's over and now basically I've lost my entire roster.
Yeah, what it made me do last year was evaluate what it is that I was lacking in my leadership and in our program that we needed, and try to fill those voids because I have to spend so much time with roster management and fundraising,
not coaching,
everything else. Yeah, there's not a lot of time for basketball. That part of it, and the part that we love the most, right? And so I was blessed to be able to get Matt Driscoll and from North Florida, and Coach Driscoll and I were together at Baylor for 6 years, and then Bill Peterson, who he was at Denver, but he came and we were at Baylor together for 5 years. Also, and in that 5-year stretch, we won 2 Big 12 championships and the national championship. And Coach Driscoll is like just passionate about offense, right? And he knows exactly what he wants it to look like, and he teaches it in a way that you could take a new group, put them together, and they can understand it because it's simple. His thing is simple, is sophisticated. And Bill Peterson is the best player development guy I've ever been around.
I still have nightmares about his workouts already.
He is so passionate about player development, guys getting better every single day and fighting for time to work with them individually. And so it gives us this great balance because I feel like I can teach defense as well as anybody in the country and make it simple and get guys to understand exactly what we want to happen. And so being able to add those guys to the staff that I already had, that's allowed this roster turnover to be a little smoother. And if this is the way college basketball is going, man, I'm ready for it. I'll embrace it. I love it. Let's go. Hopefully we can put some parameters in place that will allow guys to, us to be able to hold guys for a little longer, guys to be able to make commitments to stay a little bit longer.
Yeah.
100%. Coach, to me, it seems like one of the emphasis that you had in the offseason was to add a winning culture to your staff. When you look at Driscoll understands how it is to win. Bill Peterson, same thing. Mark Vital, national champion. To me, it just seems like, number one, you went to go get the former Baylor guys. and number two, it seemed like you just wanted winning everywhere, right? You've done it, Reem has done it, but you just wanted to have a winning culture in all of your staff. Is that something that you actually thought about going into this year?
Yeah, it wasn't just winning. It was, knowing what we needed, right? I wanted guys that could help me take the program where we wanted to go because, I spent a lot of time trying to help my guys because I had younger assistants who wanted to be head coaches. I was spending a lot of time trying to help them get to where they wanted to go. I need to have a balance of some people there helping us get where
today.
Today. And so that, and I can't do everything, so you got to have some guys that you trust. Trust is a big thing, man, and being able to know that Coach Driscoll has my back, Coach Peterson has my back, and not that it wasn't the same way with other people. I needed some older guys, and some guys who could look me in the eyes and say, "Man, you're screwing up. You need to do something different." And so that was important.
What do you think of the zone defense? I'm going to ask every coach in the Big 12 their thoughts on zone defense.
Yeah, man. Well, we played zone for a long time at Baylor, and we were really successful doing it. And,
the no middle.
Well, it wasn't.
Is that an oversimplification of it?
Yeah. It was. There's some morphing of the zone based on the alignment to the off. So
I used to hate that.
We were really good at it. And,
yes.
Now, because groups are newer, right? Coaches aren't spending a lot of time on zone offense, so early in the year, the zone can be really effective.
It's kind of funny because the one team I remember used to always pick us apart was Kansas State in the zone. With Dean Wade in that short corner,
yeah,
they used to pick us apart. We had no answers for them on that zone.
Yeah.
Maybe because we weren't moving fast enough.
No, I think their alignment bothers
Yeah.
that zone. There's a certain alignment that does. So you got to have some different answers.
Yeah.
And Kim Mulkey used to come and practice all the time. And Tang. Till y'all start playing man-to-man, you're going to win the national championship. That's what she'd say. Only 2 teams ever won national championship playing zone. Syracuse, they had Carmelo Anthony, and Texas Tech, and they had Cheryl Swoops. Those are the only 2 teams. So y'all better play some man-to-man. So I'm going to let you know, okay? We're going to be playing man-to-man.
Listen, I would expect you to. Coach, let me ask you this. P.J. Haggerty is a guy who I don't think is getting much love. When you talk about the preseason talks of everything, this young man is probably one of the best, if not the best players in the Big 12. He's so underrated. What are your thoughts on him? What has he brought to the table, and how do you feel about him not getting the same recognition and love that some of these other players are getting?
Yeah, I ain't worried about what anybody else thinks about him and what they're giving on the outside. We know on the inside we got the best point guard in the country, and he's learning how to be a leader. Right now, he's never required that before. He's just required to go out and hoop. And he did.
He did.
And now we're asking him to lead. And so he's best point guard in the country, and he's learning how to be a great leader, and I'm fired up.
Jerome Tang, Kansas State basketball coach. Appreciate your time as always, Coach. Good luck this year. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot. Go Cats.
Jerome Tang joining King McClure, myself, Ari Temkin here from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City at Big 12 Basketball Media Days. Along with King McClure, I'm Ari Temkin. Let's talk a little K-State hoops. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
Thank you. All right, why K-State?
Really just close to home, and Coach Tang and the whole staff made me feel valued and made me feel like more than a basketball player, so that's why I chose K-State.
How has Coach Tang been? He was full of energy when I was playing for him. Is he still the same way? What is his MO now?
I think right now he's in his calm phase. He's just letting us hoop within practice. I think he's just excited for the game to start, but right now he's just real cool, calm, collected. Yeah.
What about you, PJ? Why K-State?
I would say Coach Tang for sure. Him just talking throughout the whole process, seeing what he can do for me and just the team he brought with us and the impact we can have throughout the whole season.
I got a chance to watch both of you guys a lot last year. And as a basketball player, former hooper, what is an area of your game in which you worked on the most this season, in the offseason?
I would say just reading, coming off pick and rolls, saying I can be more of a playmaker, I would say, and just helping my teammates get good shots.
For me, it was just my main focus was getting stronger, to defend better, rebound better, and then just making simple reads and simple basketball plays.
Have you put on any weight?
Yeah, for sure.
How much have you put on?
In the summer, I put on, I want to say like 15 pounds.
Oh, sheesh. Phil was doing good, huh?
Yeah, Phil was doing his job a little bit.
PJ King says you're the most underrated player in the conference. He says, we look at player of the year potential with JT Toppin being the player of the year last year, being the preseason player of the year. He says PJ Haggerty's as good as anybody in this conference. He could be the player of the year.
I would agree with that statement, but I think just us as a team, I think everything will work itself out. I think us just playing together, winning games, and whatever happens, just happens.
How difficult is it to come together and create, generate chemistry amongst a team with all you guys coming together as a new team, essentially?
I would say it starts off the court. I mean, we all gel off the court, all make jokes, hang out. It's not just basketball with us. I think if you build the bond off the court, the on the court would just be more stronger.
Let's go back to what Ari just said, because I truly do think that when you talk about all the hype that a lot of players are getting, and it's definitely deserved because they played in this conference last year. But for you, knowing what you did last year in Memphis, right, how does it make you feel to not get the same level of hype as some of the other counterparts who were here last year?
I would say just a little bit. They kind of knocked the conference a little bit just because it's a mid-major. But I think it was a great conference. It helped me develop, and I think at the end of the day, it just is what it is. I just got to go out there, just win games, and just prove myself.
So what does it mean for you? You were once at TCU. and now you're back at the Big 12, but at TCU you didn't get as much playing time as you would like. So now you're one of the best players in the Big 12. So what does it mean? What's that mindset like to basically say, hey, I'm back and I'm better now? What's the mentality going into the Big 12 as a different caliber player?
I would say I've seen what it looked like at a young age in the Big 12. It's a physical league, a lot of good players. I would say now I'm just older, a lot better. So just ready to compete at the highest level. Said Big 12 is one of the best conferences. So I'm just ready to get it going.
PJ Haggerty, big-time scorer last year at Memphis. Abdi Bashir, also big-time scorer last year at Monmouth at 20 points per game. So what are your expectations this year? Do you have, I don't want to say doubts, but do you have to prove it to yourself you can play at this level?
I mean, for me, I've been proving myself as long as I've been playing, so this ain't nothing new, just every level I get to, somebody always has something to say. So, I mean, I stopped trying to prove people wrong and prove myself right, and, I mean, it's been going well for me, so I'm going to just continue to keep working hard and keep doing what I got to do.
I mean, 20 points, 20 points, right?
I don't care what level you are. Right. 20 points is a bucket getter, certified. I don't care what level you are on.
Defense or not, right?
Yeah, I don't care. That's legit. That's 100% legit. My man Micah Seaborn. Talk to me about you a whole lot, man. He sung your praises. What was that relationship like, having a guy like him being as one of your coaches?
Yeah, Micah, that was me and Micah was in the gym. I remember the first day Micah got there, we was in the gym working out, his first day on the job. And, I worked out with him probably every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, and just soaked all the knowledge I could from him. He was a great player, and, he really vouched for me. Without him, I wouldn't be here for sure.
Both of you guys, what's your perception of the Big 12?
Perception of the Big 12, I would say it's very physical. From what I've seen, what I've heard, very physical, very hard-fought battles every night, I would say. So just being ready to compete for those games.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I heard it's really physical, and every game, you're playing against somebody that could beat you, so you got to bring your A game every game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Both of you guys are known for getting buckets. So how do you feed off of each other? Because it's only one basketball. So how do you feed off of each other?
Sometimes you just gotta let PJ hoop. When you get in that mode, you just gotta run to the corner a little bit. But I mean, we knock off each other really well. I mean, if I get going, if he get going, we don't get in each other's way. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a relationship we have, and I'm looking forward to winning a lot of games.
I was so impressed. One thing when I watched you, PJ, last year, is how frequently you got to the free throw line. I feel like that's a skill that not too many guys at this level have. I think you see it a lot in the NBA, but you really don't see it too much on this level. How did you learn to do that? How did you learn to acquire that skill?
I'll say at an early age. I mean, basketball is such a fast-paced game. Just keep going. Everybody gets tired, so how can you slow the game down in your favor? I think free throws in that free. So, nobody's guarding you. So, easiest bucket of basketball, so just learning that at a young age.
Do you have a target in each game? This how many times I'm going to get to the foul line?
Nah, I just see how they play me, and I just try to make the game easy. I mean, basketball can be very simplified if you make it, so I just try to do that.
So, last question for me. My man, Mark Vital, right? Is a guy I played with for 3 years. How has he been? Honestly, y'all are like Baylor 2.0. I got so many dudes from Baylor.
Mark Vital's on staff at K-State?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a GA.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's absolute dog. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I got stories for days. Absolute dog. So how
he doesn't have any eligibility left, does he?
Listen, I know if he did, he'd be on that jersey. Coach Tang would immediately get him a jersey. But how has he been on staff? What has he been able to teach you guys, especially being such a high-level winner, high-caliber winner, winning a national championship? What has he meant for you guys?
I would say it means a lot. I mean, Mark Vital knows what it looks like. He knows how it is to win the Big 12, win a national championship. He's been a great mentor and just been a great leader on and off the court for us, and him just helping us, it's going to mean a lot throughout the whole season.
Yeah, Mark is an everyday guy. He brings the energy every day, no matter what's going on. And if you don't meet it, then, you're out of luck. So, I mean, having him around is just a blessing. And, he knows what it looks like PJ said. And, you just got to take everything he says with respect. We walk around and call him national champ. We don't even call him Mark.
Oh, that's fire.
That's awesome.
That's fire.
That's Abdi Bashir and PJ Haggerty joining us here for K-State Hoops from Big 12 Media Days here in Kansas City as we talk K-State Hoops on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios. We are joined now talking Baylor basketball with Coach Scott Drew and one of his former players, King McClure. I'm sure there are so many stories from his playing days that you'd love to share with us.
Well, first of all, if it wasn't for his playing days, I wouldn't still be here. So I owe King McClure a lot. We've had a lot of great players, and he was definitely one of them. A true joy, gentleman. So proud of what he's been able to accomplish after he's concluded his playing career at Baylor. Although, with these new rules, I might try to get a COVID year out of this joker. We might try to get something else. I mean, we got NIL for him, all right?
That's what we said. He might have eligibility.
Oh, my goodness.
Question is he go to Houston or Baylor?
Oh,
No.
I'm rocking.
Well, first of all, I know he ain't going there. He don't do them rebounding bubble drills. He a shooter. He wants to see you go through the net.
Look, this is what I will tell you,
Coach Sampson. All right.
Look, what I will tell you is, Coach, I'll argue that I'm probably the best rebounding guard to ever come through Baylor. Check my senior year. Yeah. I averaged 6 of them things.
6. Wow.
I think I had 3 double-doubles.
You were elite, but man, I tell you now, we've had some pretty good rebounding guards.
Okay, the only reason why I say that is because that year, my senior year, was the year Tristan went down. So we had Freddie playing the 5, and that was new Freddie. That was the experienced Freddie, and that was Mark Vital playing the 5. So I had to play the 4. So I think I had like 3 or 4 double-doubles that year. Maybe 2 or 3 double-doubles. But, yeah, I had a few.
They're getting out and checking.
We're fact-checking this, King.
So how many rebounds did I average my senior year?
So, his freshman year, 1 rebound a game. His sophomore year, 1.3. His junior year, 2.5. And then senior year, 5.3. That's pretty good.
He did have a couple of double-doubles. He had 27 and 14 against George Mason. And then he had 10 rebounds against Kansas.
Wow.
And then at Oklahoma State, he had 29 points and 9 boards.
Oh,
that's not bad.
Another double-double.
That's not bad.
29. That's pretty good lines right there. That's pretty good lines.
I got to tell you this, right? So, I coach my team. For those who don't know, I'm a high school basketball coach as a side quest.
By the way, when he started coaching, notice his hair is thinning in top. You're like, this ain't so easy.
It's a little hard, but you be proud of me. So the other day, guess what I was teaching my team?
What?
Free throw X-outs.
Oh, excellent. I figured you were having them rebound while you shot. You used to do that. Snap that pass to me. On time, on target. Don't let it hit.
Free throw X-out. I was teaching my team how to X-out so we can get more offensive rebounds on free throws. So that was my Coach Drew moment.
I love it. Good luck this year, my man.
We're gonna
no
need
tease.
it.
No tease.
I can't wait to see your team this year. It's such an interesting dynamic. Like, you used to be in full control of your roster, it felt like, and you had transfers, and they'd come in, they'd sit out the year, they'd get. I mean, you invented the transfer essentially well before it happened, right? Year ends, you got the exodus, now you got to start over.
Yeah.
I know there's a question in there, but it feels like it's just a different. I mean, it's a different era for.
I was wait.
I mean, look, it's a different era for college basketball. It's a different era for Scott Drew and how you build a roster.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I heard 71% of the projected Big 12 starting lineups are new this year.
Wow.
So it's not just us; it's everywhere. Auburn went to the Final Four, and I think they returned 1 from one of their guys that was in the rotation, and they have a 12-man rotation. So, I mean, like, it's just everybody's facing it. Yeah. So I think in coaching, you either adapt or you get left behind. And the thing that I've always enjoyed is each team's a different challenge, different opportunity. One thing I think King can attest to is that now that he's coaching, if you like the guys you're with, it's a lot more enjoyable going to work every day or going to the gym every day. And the older I get, the more my time, I don't have as much time as I used to, and I want to spend it with people that I enjoy and want to be there with. So as our program's elevated throughout the years, we've gotten to the point where we can be a lot more choosy because you have the talent, the people that can win at this level, but now who fits what you're about and what you want. And Our staff did a great job. The portal, it comes open and boom, everything is ripping and running. You got to make decisions. And our GM, Jason Smith, did a great job giving us a list of names, and our staff doing research to make sure the character and the background checks all fit what we're looking for. Because, again, Kings knows a lot about our program, knows about the Big 12. Every school has a little bit different identity as far as the type of player. And what's great is this as a coach, I know some players are going to be best under our system, and some players will be better on a different system.
Yeah.
So it's attracting who we can help the most and who they can get the most help from us.
Scott, I'm not sure I could name one player on your team this year, mostly because I can't pronounce their last names. But with that said, tell us about your roster, the process, and where some of your strengths will lie this season.
Well, that's why we use numbers. But I know there are a lot more international players and a lot harder names nowadays. I mean, the days of King and Scott Drew. I mean, they're real easy. They try to make things easy around here. But with that, we got a great group that. We want to add more depth. We want to add more size and length, and we were able to do that. Now, we did lose one player, Perez, an Italian player, for the year with an ACL injury, and we have another player, Jocelyn Bodo, who has not been able to compete yet because of an injury he got before he got to campus, and hopefully he'll be here because, as you all know, he only got so many players, and you need them. Yeah. But with the size and length, if you get Bodo back, you do have it's noticeable, and that gives us options. And when you have options, you're going to need that in the Big 12 because there's foul trouble. There's nights where people don't play as well. There's nights where people are injured or sick, and if you don't have that depth, it's hard to come away with W's.
So, Coach, when you look at your roster and the length that you have, is this a year where we could see that Baylor zone come back?
Yeah, that Baylor zone, you know about that. And that's the great thing about coaching is, I mean, we've won with zone, we won no middle, we've won with more pack line defense. This year, I expect us to be more in the gaps, more pack line, and then you do have size and length that you can go to the zone. So you got options, and as a coach, you love to have options because it's kind of like pitchers. We're in the playoffs right now. Your fastball might be your go-to, but you still got to have that second and third pitch, and one or two possessions usually dictate who wins and loses Big 12 games. So having a chance to mix something up when a team's on a run is important.
When you look back at last season and you look forward to this year, how much of a problem was the depth? You had a lot of unforeseen circumstances last season with injuries and guys missing a lot of time. So was that a big point of emphasis when you build this year's team?
Well, we always say the best ability is availability. And our first 17 years, we had one player with an ACL injury. The last 5 years, we've had 5 players with an ACL injury. So you look at the NBA and the Achilles, and first of all, with the technology, if someone has something wrong, we're going to find it. So that leads to more injuries. Second thing is overtraining. And I know we all love Kobe mentality, but people don't grow up playing 3 and 4 sports. It's one sport, and Sports Illustrated did an article about this 5-6 years ago that you have more injuries because you overtrain the same muscles all the time. And I don't know if that's all part of it, but at the end of the day, you got to have depth because it seems like you have less and less players. I mean, back in the day, concussion protocol, there was none of that, right? You had a concussion, you're back in the game playing. I mean, if you had something wrong, everybody didn't get MRIs, X-rays. I mean, a lot of people played through stuff that now keep you out.
Baylor coach Scott Drew here at Big 12 Men's Basketball Media Days. Coach, best of luck this season. Always great to catch up with you.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and keep King in line. I know that's a tall task, all right? But we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Another one of the guys from your coaching tree.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Another
sir.
one.
Yeah, if you don't have a good year, we might not claim him, all right?
There you go. We'll keep tabs on it.
We got pressure, you know?
We'll keep tabs on it. Scott Drew, Baylor Bears basketball on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios here in KC. Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio, exclusively on TuneIn. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios. We've got former Baylor guard King McClure with us here with Obi Agbim and Dan Skillings talking some Baylor basketball. Dan, I want to start with you. You were pretty beat up last year. Was that last season at Cincinnati?
Yep, last season. Yep.
You were working through some injury stuff, and how's your health?
My health is great, man. Starting after the season ended, probably about a month after the season ended, I felt 100% for the first time in a year, and that's been great. Only a God-given thing I could have here, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to feel healthy, and I'm blessed to have my body feeling healthy for my team, so I can compete with my team the way I want to be. So very blessed.
How has it been playing for Scott Drew? I know it's a little adjustment from what you're probably used to at your former schools for a myriad of reasons. But how has it been playing for Scott Drew?
I'll go first. I don't care. It's been amazing playing for Scott Drew. You know what I mean? It's just the first thing in the program is faith-driven, and I love that about him, how I've been getting closer with the Lord already. And he's so positive, and I'm so positive when it comes to everything. And in practice, he can raise his voice about something, make you run 16 lines of smile the whole time he's doing it, which I love about him, because it's just like negative energy is not a good thing to be around, and just being around him, you can feel that positive energy, so it makes everybody feel good.
100%, man. Coach Drew, he a winner. He competitive. His competitive nature is really big on our team, and just playing for a coach that trusts his players and does whatever it takes to win, and he never makes anything personal. He never takes anything personal. It's big time for us. So, playing with him, it's a one-on-one coach. I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
You guys played in those World University games, kind of a preseason tune-up. I mean, what did that do for your chemistry and connectivity and just learning how to play together with an entirely new roster?
Man, that was awesome, going out there, getting our chemistry going. And I felt like 14 days having a roommate that, but barely know, and just getting to know them on a deeper level. And that was a really dope experience for all of us to get closer together.
Were you guys roommates?
No. That's my guy. That's my guy still. But my roommate was Cam Carr, and his roommate was Will, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you mix that in with then you also mix in the scrimmage or the exhibition game against Grand Canyon. Up to this point, what have you learned about your team?
Oh man, just going off of the summer, man. You learn a lot, off of winning, but you learn even more off of losing, and just competing with these guys every day, and then having that blessed ability to play the scrimmage. It was amazing. Just learning about these guys that we're all very talented, and we all have our superpowers and abilities that God gives us with. But the biggest thing that I would say, we all have the same goal, and we don't have any egos.
I got to say, these uniforms might be the cleanest uniforms in the Big 12.
Think so.
The script Baylor font.
They're the cleanest. They're the cleanest.
They are. The throwback logo.
The Sailor Bear is so fire.
When King played, it was the highlighter green and highlighter yellow.
I ain't love that.
I didn't love that.
This is it.
That's it.
I like this a lot. I do.
Nice.
I really
green and gold,
that's nice.
They go together with the white.
Yes,
it's hard.
Okay, you guys are fans. I can tell. That's good. All right. You guys are fans. That's good. Is this the best uniform set in the Big 12?
No question.
Okay.
What? Of course. By far. So far,
Dan,
by far.
Dan, you got something to say about that?
Like, this is the best uniform in the Big 12?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, Dan, come
There's
on,
some
bro.
fighters, but
who's
all right.
Who's fighting?
Yeah,
for
I was
it?
going to say.
I know what he's going to say, too.
Who is it?
Is he going to say Cincinnati?
I feel like he's going to say Cincinnati.
It's some fighters out there.
Well, these look good, guys. These look good. Best of luck this season, man. Can't wait to see you guys play.
Thank you,
man. God
Baylor's
bless.
number
Thanks for
one
having
now.
us.
Talking Baylor basketball with Dan Skillings and Obi Agjum here at Big 12 Men's Basketball Media Days from Kansas City.
You butchered it. You butchered the mess out here,
I
man.
know I did.
Go try run that back one more time, James.
Agbim.
Yes, sir.
Dan Skillings, Obi Agbim.
Yeah.
Baylor basketball.
Yes, sir.
Here on TuneIn Big 12 Studios.
Yes, sir. Be easy.
Welcome back out to T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, which is the site of Big 12 Media Days, and we're pleased to be joined right now by the women's basketball coach for the University of Kansas. Brandon Schneider is joining us here on Big 12 Radio as we preview the upcoming season for the Jayhawks. So what's the expectation here? You've got quite the recruiting class coming in on the heels of Samaya, last year's a true freshman. So, where are you now in terms of, you've turned over an experienced roster with a young, up-and-coming, very talented roster.
Yeah, I think a really good mesh of 7 returners and 5 newcomers. Should we be able to get them to connect and mesh, I won't even say quickly, but in an appropriate fashion, I think our expectations are as high as they ever have been.
Coach, a noteworthy freshman class. When you're out recruiting, what are some things on the checklist that every player has to have if they're going to come to Kansas?
Well, I think we've been able to turn things around with an emphasis on culture and chemistry above everything. You have to check those boxes for us to even consider you. And then we dive into, athleticism and skill set and all those kind of things. But we've been, I think, very successful and have turned some real corners, valuing some important traits.
Do you feel like you're in position with your freshmen to play meaningful minutes this year?
Absolutely. Julia Davis is definitely going to be an impact freshman. I think is solidified already. The starting 4 spot for us, and we have 2 other freshmen on the perimeter that we're expecting to play impactful roles. Not sure exactly what that'll look like. Will it be in the starting lineup or come off the bench? But they're going to have important roles.
Coach, you have an elite scorer in Samaya Nichols. What else can she do offensively? I mean, what do you need from her this season? How would you define her role?
Well, I think her usage rate a year ago was entirely too high. Mm-hmm. We've got to find a way to not play her as many minutes so that she can be closer or close to as full strength as possible when we get to March. I'll give you an example. We played a close scrimmage the other day. She took 1 shot, and she had 10 assists. So I think now, are we going to need her to be more aggressive than that? Absolutely. But I think she's done a terrific job of helping our new players, in particular our freshmen, gel and build some connectivity really early.
But you'd take 10 assists a night?
I would take 10 assists a night because I know that I'm then close to a triple-double.
There you go.
I mean, she was 3rd in the country in free throw attempts a year ago at the point guard position. So lacking aggression is not something that,
it's not something you're worried about,
no.
yeah.
Coach, it's still October. You're not worried about your team being perfect or nearly close to that at all at this point. So in a practice right now, what are the little things that you're really focusing on and worried about getting better?
Well, I think the things that happen all the time. Transition defense happens all the time. So we're going to spend a lot of time there, and we need to be really good in that area. Rebounding happens every possession. So we're going to put a lot of focus, in that. I think being able to guard the ball is something that's become harder and harder with the caliber of players that we're seeing, year in and year out. And then with the nature of basketball and how it's evolved, I mean, ball screen coverages and rotations, I think, are really, really important. So there may be some things that we're going to mess up, especially early in the year, just because we haven't spent enough time on those things. But we try to focus on the things that happen the most and be good in those areas.
Your time at KU predates Travis Goff, but, what have you taken away from his leadership as he's come on at KU?
Well, he's incredibly supportive, and he wants women's basketball to be really good. He wants women's basketball to be national competitive. He's willing to give us the resources that we need, And I think he wants to capitalize on the trend that we're seeing with the popularity of women's basketball, both on the collegiate and professional levels.
In terms of roster construction and last season, I want to ask you about rebounding. What have you done to address having some better numbers on the glass?
Yeah, I think our frontline play is much improved. I don't know, we don't have a 6'6" Tiana Jackson that can be dominant in that area, but I think we can collectively be better. And we've improved our team size. I think if we started a game tomorrow, we'd be 6 foot 5'11", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3", which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have to do it by committee, and we just have to have more people who are committed. We call them 2-second fights. When that ball goes up, we all have to look for our 2-second fight and go compete.
Do you have one of your get-to-know questions ready for him?
Always, Coach. Always. Always have the get-to-know-you questions. What is...
Think of a really good one here.
What is your let's say you're having a cheat day. You can eat anything. What's your go-to cheat meal?
Wow. I think my go-to cheat would be a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So my meal would start with
wine,
drink.
and it would end with wine.
Yes.
Maybe some wine in between.
But there would be a steak involved, but definitely a really good bottle of wine, because that's something that I've tried to cut back on. So I'm kind of missing it.
Red wine?
I was going to ask
Yes.
that, red or white, yeah.
Yeah, red. I will drink a white, but it would be more of a Vino Verde or a Sauvignon Blanc.
And then what's your go-to steak cut and temperature?
Well, medium rare plus.
Okay, yeah.
In that range, and
there's no wrong answers here, but that's the right answer.
But I'm going to go with either a fillet or ribeye, depending. But those are my top two.
We need to have some steak and wine together. Brandon Schneider, the Kansas basketball coach. Appreciate your time. Good luck this year, Coach. Rock chalk.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome back to Big 12 Media Days in Kansas City, T-Mobile Center. We'll talk with a couple of Jayhawks here about Kansas women's basketball. Elle Evans and Jalea Davis. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right, Jalea, let's start with you. Why Kansas?
I chose Kansas because I'm from Overland Park, so this is pretty much down the street for me. I've always had a really good relationship with Coach Brandon. He was one of my first offers, so I think that was kind of also a big part in this school I chose.
Did you grow up a Jayhawk fan?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up kind of watching a lot. Coming here, obviously, this is down the street for me. So, yeah, I've definitely grown up a KU fan.
What can fans expect when they watch you play, and why do you think that style of play fits in with Kansas?
I think I play really fast. I like to run the floor. I like to get rebounds. I like to just put as much energy as I can onto the court. And I think that kind of translates to Kansas because Samaya has a really good point guard who can get downhill quickly and look for the right pass.
What's one thing you guys both have been working on in this off season, in the summer, maybe when you're in the gym by yourself? Like, what is that one thing that you guys are really trying to level up for this season?
Yeah, I think for me personally, the biggest thing this offseason that I kind of changed was my footwork actually on my shooting. I've become more comfortable coming off certain ball screens and certain reads, and just also getting my shot off faster. So I think that was one thing that I changed this offseason that's going to definitely help us this year.
Yeah, and I've really been trying to hone in on trying to expand my game, like trying to shoot more outside, 15-footers, three-pointers. I kind of get in a lot to the gym and try and work on those kind of things.
Was that something that Coach came to you about, or you thought you wanted to change or tweak on your own? Or was there an assistant coach that maybe has helped you in the summer when you're in the gym? Or
Yeah, so it actually was kind of my idea. Last year, my footwork was a little odd, but they didn't really want to change anything. But this off season, I kind of sat down with one of our assistants, Morgan Page, and I kind of said that I wanted to change it in a way just because I knew that it would help me get my release off faster. And obviously, I feel like everyone kind of knows that I like to shoot the three, so I think just having that ability to get it off faster, I think, would help. So she was definitely a big part of helping me change my footwork.
Yeah, I'm curious, Elle, as you came in last year from North Dakota State, did you, how quickly did you realize, I can play at this level? I'm sure that was something that had to come to you, but I mean, how quickly did you realize that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big reason why I came here to play at a bigger level. And I knew that I would be able to have a good impact right away. But I think that probably like throughout the middle of the non-con, it kind of like hit me like, okay, like this is kind of how it's going to be, and this is going to be a big role, a big impact. But yeah, I mean, I think that I kind of knew right away, which is also a big reason why I chose KU.
How about you? I mean, you obviously don't know it yet, but I mean, I'm assuming as a 5-star, are you coming in like you have the confidence to feel like you can play at this level?
Yeah, that was also kind of one of the things I was looking for. I was looking for a school that I could come in and make an impact like immediately, and just being able to play in front of people that I know. I think that was also just something that was important.
Was Samaya a big influence on you coming there too?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Samaya like communicated a lot during my recruitment process, and she definitely was something that helped me push.
All the 5 stars from OP. All right, Samaya, all of them. We got to get them all to KU. All of them. There's apparently a lot of them. Who knew?
Uh-oh, we got someone on the radar. Okay, so you guys have both played at other schools. What are the benefits of learning a different system, and how does that play into the knowledge of the game that you guys bring here to Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, I think the benefits is just playing with different types of players. But I think being here, just kind of knowing who you're playing with, and I think the more that we've gone on since June, I think we've kind of realized the kind of teammates that we have. So being able to play to each other's strengths, I think, is something that's really going to help us stretch the floor this year.
Yeah, and for me, I think being able to play under Coach Ann Fritz, she's kind of a legend here in Overland Park and the Kansas City area, and she's really helped me to get prepared for coming in and making an impact immediately.
Anything fun you guys have done this summer together as a team off the court?
Oh, gosh. What have we done? Oh, yeah. We've thrown a couple pretty big birthday parties for some of our teammates. But
yeah,
honestly,
that was big 21.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it 21? Yeah.
Yeah, it was my 21st. So we had a great night.
Oh, that's fun.
Samaya, is there anything you want to ask them? Come on up to the mic, Samaya.
Yes, come on, join us.
Samaya Nichols.
Let me think.
You can grill them. I mean, ask them anything you want.
Oh, gosh.
I would never do that to them. It would make them uncomfortable. Okay. What are you most excited for when it comes to the season, like the point of games? Like, are you ready for the close games, the games where we blow people out? Like, what game do you want?
I think I'm really excited to compete and for the close games.
Mhm.
I think being able to just be competitive with a bunch of other people and really good teams is something that I'm really excited for.
So you'd prefer a close game?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Now what game would you prefer?
I think I obviously love a good competitive game. I think whenever it's a close game and your team does something good and you guys all everyone just is able to hype each other up, I think there's no better feeling than celebrating with your teammates, especially after a big close win.
All right, so I'm a Jayhawk. So we're tied with K-State. Who do we want on the foul line with 2 free throws with a second left in a tie game?
It's Maya.
You know,
Samaya.
I shot a lot of free throws in my days,
Yeah.
right? But it does depend on how many times I was fouling. So if I didn't play that long, am I that warm? Now we know L can play 50 minutes straight. So I'd put L on that line if I wasn't fouling.
Yeah, I'd probably put one of you two on the line for sure.
Awesome. Well, good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you
you so much.
Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio. We are at Big 12 Women's Basketball Media Days in Kansas City. You're listening to us on TuneIn, watching via Big 12 Studios. We are joined by West Virginia Coach Mark Kellogg. What a year last year. 25 wins, 13-5 in Big 12 play. You've got a little bit of roster turnover in terms of losing one of your stars, but turnover margin, steals, the pressure defense. What is the West Virginia way?
Yeah, well, I think you just described it a little bit. It's been defense first. More out of necessity when I got the job 2 years ago was we needed to create some offense with our defense. We didn't have a ton of depth, and obviously you're a new coach with, not a full complement of players that you've recruited. And so I was the third coach in 3 years, so you're talking about 3 different systems. But fortunately, we had some players that really fit that mold, obviously like J.J. Quinterly's and Kyle Watson's and several more, but they set the tone. JJ did. We had a pro in our program, that went on to have a great rookie season in the WNBA, and so it came together. We've done it on the defensive end and been certainly fine on the offensive end, but been a lead on the other end.
Coach, first time in your successful coaching career, I think you have more newcomers this year than returners. What are the challenges that you've been going through the past few months?
Yeah, no, it has been. Any year that I haven't taken over a program, I've never had more newcomers than returners, and a smaller roster. So we only have 11 players this year. It's been easier to manage that off the court, and up to date, as long as, barring injuries and those types of things, it's certainly easier. Roles are easier to define, those types of things. But no, they've come together quickly, easily over the summer. The off the court stuff is taking care of itself. Now we're just trying to figure each other out on the court. And, when we get kind of punched in the face, how do we react? How do we respond? What does that look like? Even though we like each other off the court, we haven't gone through that experience yet. So, I think as a coaching staff, we're trying to set them up, for failure, so to speak, a little bit to see how they respond early, just because we don't have opportunities to go through it as long or as many games now.
Mark Kellogg is 50-16 at West Virginia, 195-55 at Stephen F. Austin. Why don't you lose?
Good players, good coaches, great administration. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Sustained success is one of our mantras, though. It has been for me in all of my stops in coaching and at different levels, and D2, mid-major, now at the Power 4 level. But you do truly, and I say it half jokingly, but very, very seriously. Like, I think your administration is a big piece of it. You want to be in places that allow you to have success as a coach. Surround myself with really good and quality coaches and staff, which I've been able to do. And then above all else, have really good players that make you look good as a basketball coach, and just put them in positions to have success, treat people right, do it the right way, figure out how to motivate them, coach them, teach them.
It's interesting. You didn't really say anything about basketball there.
Yeah, no, I mean, the basketball piece will take care of itself. I mean, I don't want to discount that. I think there's a level of that. We have a system. We have a structure. I think we have an identity. I think a lot of times, there's coaches out there that just can't quite figure out what they want to be about. Yeah. For me, I've said this many times, starting at the lower level, like at Division II at Fort Lewis College, allowed me to figure that out without this microscope, or if I had a bad game, so to speak, or didn't coach very well, or we didn't play well, there wasn't a ton of exposure to that. So I grew up learning how to coach, and there was some fantastic coaches in those levels, and so you learn how to X and O a little bit along the way, and just learn how to put kids in a position to have success.
Coach, what have you seen from Jordan Harrison, and what is the next step when it comes to her game?
Yeah, no, she's been fantastic. She transferred with me from Stephen F. Austin, so, that's my girl. It's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached. We do play favorites. They say coaches don't, but yes, we do. And I got no problem. It's the ones that work hard and play hard.
Right.
And are
Become
great
one of my
leaders.
favorites if you're not.
Yeah, right. Like, come on now. But no, just to expand her game. I mean, she's always been a leader. She plays the point guard spot, so naturally you have to have some of that, instinct in you. I think she'll score it a little bit more. That's been the challenge for Jordan. Early in her career, she wasn't. I mean, she played on a loaded high school basketball team, AAU team, where she was the distributor. And, like Micah Gray was on her high school team, Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Those were all high school and AAU teammates for quite a while. So she played with some elite talent. But she was pass first, and she's really learned how to, score but still assist at the right time. I think she's been an undervalued defender, even though she was first team All Big 12 defense 2 years ago, but was not on the team last year. But she'll take probably 35 to 40 charges this season. She rebounds pretty well for her size. and then guards the ball at an elite level. So she's going to do all of those things and then just expand her game even more.
You've spent a lot of time with her. Do you have a story off the floor or something that illustrates who she is as a person?
No, I don't know if there's just one story. I mean, just, if you've ever talked to her, she's got that kind of little squeaky voice, too, that comes across that you just are kind of taken aback when you first hear her talk. But she's from a great family. Her dad's kind of been her trainer. My favorite story about her, though, was when I was at Stephen F. Austin. We had finished a practice. We were playing the next night, and I hear the ball bouncing down in the gym. And we hadn't finished practice very long, and I look down there, and it's Jordan. And I'm like, what is she doing? And she kept looking over at, the sideline, on a chair. And her dad was on FaceTime. And her dad had trained her, and so they were going through the workout with him on FaceTime, and then she'll move it to underneath the basket to give him a different angle. And so then now they would work from that angle, and they have continued that. And now her mom and dad just actually are going to spend the year in Morgantown to watch all of her games. And so now they're doing it in person and not having to do it via FaceTime. But that was pretty special and unique.
You can't really teach that. You know what I mean? There's an inner strength that individual person has to have to do that, right? I mean, you can't really teach that.
Well, you can't, but a lot of the stars align that dad, has a great understanding of basketball, has a great mind, that she's willing to allow her father.
Right.
That's hard. Like, my kids, they don't want dad.
No,
They don't want to listen
right.
to me and about
anybody
basketball.
else.
Yeah,
Literally anybody else.
But they have a phenomenal relationship, and, it's helped. It's a different voice. Even as a coach, he would know her game better than anybody else, by far. So I have no problem, letting him kind of keep his hand and helping her, and she probably needs that relationship as well. So it's been a great dynamic watching those two.
Yeah, that coach-parent dynamic can be tricky to navigate. So what is that relationship like?
Yeah, you mean for me and my children, or
for
Jordan
you and Jordan's dad?
Yeah, no, they have a great dynamic, and I think he's very, he gets it. He's very analytical. He understands it. I think he tells her when she plays really well and loves on her, and then probably tells her when she didn't play as well, or here's some things that he saw, but he's very neutral with it and not overly reactionary at all.
Yeah, because I feel like some parents can go to the coach and be like, why aren't you playing her more?
Exactly.
You need to put her in this type of situation or whatever. Yeah,
no. He's never, I don't know if that's crossing a line, but we don't have those, we don't have those conversations. I always tell him if there's a well-being issue with your child or you're concerned about something, by all means, reach out, and we want to make sure they're taken care of. But if you got X and O's types question, I'll go talk to my player about that rather than a parent.
Okay, yeah, I like that line in the sand.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to know you a little bit here, Coach. What is a television show that you can almost quote word for word? Favorite TV show?
Yeah, well, I don't like the movie would probably be like A Few Good Men from back in the day. If you remember A Few Good Men, I can kind of get through that one quite a bit. TV shows.
Can you do the whole speech at the end?
I can deal with the bombs and the blood. I don't need money and I don't want medals. But what I do want, yeah, I can get going on it.
You need me on that wall.
You want me on that wall. Yeah, that was a great movie, though.
Great movie.
That's it.
That scene is so iconic.
It is.
It's so
one
good.
of the best. Yep.
Man, Coach, your team is really fun to watch.
Did you order the code red? Sorry.
No, Ari, it's a whole.
You're damn right I did.
We're doing a bit.
Sorry.
We're doing a bit. We are doing a bit. That's how we roll. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's West Virginia coach Mark Kellogg here at Big 12 Basketball Media Days, heard on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio and seen on Big 12 Studios. Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio, on TuneIn, also seen via Big 12 Studios. Talking now with a couple of West Virginia players, Sydney Shaw and Kiera Wheeler. Join us here at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. And Kiera, I want to start with you because, this is a roster that has a lot of new players. What attracted you to West Virginia, Morgantown, and this very unique, chaotic, in the best way, style of defense that Mark Kellogg's teams run?
Just their standard, honestly, and the culture that they built is something that I want to embody. And just coming in, Coach Kellogg really talked about like you said, defense and keeping up the blue and gold standard and what it meant to them. And I thought coming into Morgantown and coming on my visit, it was just a great experience. And every day I want to go out and compete. And he basically told me he's a competitor and that's all he wants to do. And our goals kind of align together.
How much time do you guys spend in practice working on defense?
Yesterday I don't think we actually worked on offense much.
Okay, yeah.
We had our scrimmage. We seen what we needed to work on. So like, just the drills are very intense. Some of the drills we only get points for defensive stops or for doing things on defense. We get minus points for doing things wrong on defense. So like, just honing in every day, no matter how much time we spend on it. Just wanting to perfect our craft really.
I don't think I thought about that question or thought about how much we do defense until you just asked me that. I was like, we really just did defense yesterday.
It's normal for you guys at this point, but you're like, this is a lot of defense.
For sure, yeah.
Sydney, you will have a larger role this year. How do you adjust to kind of taking on that leadership position and being one of the leaders for this team?
Honestly, just keep doing what I've been doing, keep being vocal. If I see something, learning to communicate effectively and meeting people where they are. Everybody has bad days, me included, so just keep being a good person. It'll take you far.
Are you a vocal leader on this team?
I have my days. I always have a lot to say. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I definitely use my voice, but I more so lead by example.
Yeah.
How would you describe the personality of this team as a whole? I mean, is there, a goofiness, a silliness, a calmness? I mean, is there one kind of common denominator you think you guys all embody?
I think this is a pretty silly team, if I'm being honest. I think whatever the moment calls for, you're going to get. So versatile is what I'll name us.
Who's like the class clown, though, of the group? The prankster, cracking
I
jokes.
got it.
Yeah, you got someone? Oh, okay.
Definitely Sydney Shaw. Who else? Pretty
I feel like Maddie is really funny.
Yes, our freshman. She's so funny.
So unhinged. So herself. I love it.
You got to have some of those freshmen. They lighten the mood always.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, I can imagine playing in a system like this, a style like this that's very chaotic, and the goal is to wear down the opponent mentally as much as physically. How do you, I guess, stay so even-keeled in those moments of chaos to make sure that you don't kind of fall into that trap of making bad decisions that you're trying to force your opponent to make, if that makes sense?
I would say it's all in preparation. If this is what we are pushing other teams to do, this is what we do all day, every day. So it's not like we're creating chaos that we've never been in.
Yeah, I would just say like preparation and practice, because not only are we causing chaos, we're getting like the same chaos like thrown back at us, because it's our defense we're playing against. It's our pressure that we're being built against. So it's really hard to be sped up when we've been practicing against it like all summer.
How has Coach made both of you guys better players? Is there one thing that maybe he's challenged each of you on this offseason to work on, or just as a whole, is there something that you've really taken from what he said and stuck to that?
Just me being new on the team, and I would say like challenging me to be a leader vocally as well as like on the court. I think I can lead by example sometimes, but they need to hear my voice, and like me just being new on the team and just learning the system as we go. I was less vocal, and I think lately like he's really been challenging me to like step up to the challenge and just be a better player.
I would say he meets you where you are. He met me exactly where I was, and what I needed at that point was confidence, and just worked on building that. He is very strategic with the way he coaches, and it's very refreshing when you're looking to somebody for direction. So he just taught me to trust myself more. Like, I'm not really looking at him a whole lot now.
Yeah, he understands you and you understand him, it seems like.
Right, for sure.
Now, we talked TV shows and movies with your coach.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this as we get to know you a little bit here. If you could be a guest star on any TV show, okay?
That's a good one.
Which one would it be and why? Or movie, TV show or movie.
I would have to go Love Island. Sorry.
No way.
No way. I'm a big reality TV fan. I will watch anything. It was either going to be Love Island or Love is Blind. Like,
Love is Blind.
I love them shows. They're so good.
I'm with you.
It's a really rough one. Like, I'm watching Scandal right now, and I only watch one thing at a time. So I'll probably, pop up on Scandal.
It's got to be Scandal.
That's Olivia Pope, right?
Olivia Pope.
Yep.
That one's on the list.
That was a
It's
good
on the list. Nicely done. Hey, best of luck this season. Thank you so much for your time. Great job.
Thank you for having us.
Talking West Virginia basketball with Sydney Shaw and Kiera Wheeler here at Big 12 Women's Basketball Media Days, exclusively on TuneIn and Big 12 Studios.
Back here at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, along with James Westling and the former Oklahoma State Hoops star, Austin Ivan. I am Ari Temkin. Here at Big 12 Media Days talking BYU Women's Hoops with a brand new coach. Well, welcome to the league, Coach. Welcome to the Big 12.
Yeah, it's a fun event. Got a few athletes that haven't experienced this either, so we're all kind of doing it together.
What's it like to coach at your alma mater?
It's awesome. It's easy to sell. Everything that I say is 100% how I feel about the place as I talk to athletes. And I know I'm 100% biased because I don't know any different, but there's no better place in the country to be a student athlete.
So you've been an assistant at BYU since 2016, now the head coach. What's the biggest differences changing roles?
Yeah, people ask that occasionally, and for me, it's just my brain won't shut off. Constantly I'm thinking about how to improve players, help them, how to improve the program, how to be more intentional with everything that we do as a program. It comes at a cost probably about being present with different people that, but that's the biggest thing for me is just constantly it's on my mind.
Stylistically, what are the things that you're trying to emphasize for this season and what BYU basketball looks like?
Yeah, I think that for us, we're always going to have players that can shoot the three, and I think it's where the game's going. So just embracing that for our strengths is probably the first thing that jumps out. Want to try to keep it simple. As I go into this, I think the coaches at the top, not just in our league but across the country, they kind of foundationally know who they are, and they kind of stay in that world and want to do that. Try to do our best to put players in position to use their talents. Give an example, for instance, on our team, Olivia Hamlin is an incoming freshman. She really knows how to score the basketball, and she doesn't really need a play or an action to do it, and just let her play her game, in that sense. So just try to keep it simple, but we really love the three ball.
Delaney Gibb, what an incredible season last year, a freshman of the year in the Big 12. How do you motivate her to keep growing and get better?
She's got some high aspirations, and for her, there's some areas of her game that need to improve. Everybody knows she can score, and she's tremendous talent, both sides of the basketball. I think this year is a great year for her to show the growth that she's made as it pertains to just a maturity on the court, managing a game, being a floor general, being put in position where maybe last year she picked up a bad foul or got a little loose with it, showing the growth there, where after a missed shot, hey, I'm not going to go reach in and pick up a foul 94 feet away from the basket. I think that's an area, just vocal leader too, taking the jump there. She can shoot it, she can score it, she can play make as good as anybody in our league, but showing some growth on that front.
Coach, you're talking about how your brain doesn't turn off now. So we're in the middle of the season. It's late at night. You're watching film. What is it that would keep you up? Is it a turnover, a defensive breakdown, not a block out? Like, what is it that gets under your skin?
It depends if we won or lost. But just pet peeve as a coach, if you can repeatedly have to explain something. So if it was something like that, that would be really frustrating for me, and I would have to self-evaluate and decide, what are we doing wrong here? Why is it not resonating? Why? What are we teaching? How are we teaching? Is it incorrect? Where they're not grasping it. Other than that, shots are going to go. Shots are going to not go. But hopefully, and we've seen it. As we get into this now, it's month I think 7. Just seeing improvement in certain things that we're trying to implement for our team. And that's all you can kind of ask. If the effort's there and you're seeing that improvement in different things.
Did you go on the BYU cruise?
I did not. I heard it was amazing. It actually occurred in a really busy time of the year. It was in April, and that's kind of peak transfer portal season.
Right.
Not this summer, but the summer 2027, I believe, is going to the Caribbean, and it's in July. So if it doesn't, conflict with recruiting, maybe I'll be there.
There we go. Man, you guys had so many close losses last year when you were on staff as an assistant. I count 6 losses by 5 or less points, and then you showed what potential there could be this year when you beat Oklahoma State, in late February. So
What was the difference in those close games? How do you get on the right side?
I mean, for us as a staff, I mean, it's important because it's the difference in between being 19 and whatever, 11 and 13 and 17. On top of those 6 that we lost by 5 or less, we had the lead in 3 games under a minute and lost in overtime. So there's 9 games that could go, I don't want to do 6, 7. My kids will roast me for that. We even if we capture half of those, it kind of changes, and opposed to being on the outside looking in. Now we're kind of on the doorstep of the NCAA tournament. So learning how to win. We spent a lot of time situationally in practice this summer and fall, trying to close out practices or games. But we feel like there's margin to grab as a program. We're one of the worst teams in the country at baseline out of bounds defense, like literally like 360, I think, out of 363.
Wow.
So can we pick up 2 points there a game? And our turnover percentage was about 20%, which is not great. Can we pick up a few possessions there and just see how it impacts the game? And as a league, the league turned over quite a bit. There's a lot of players that were here that are no longer here, either to graduation or the portal. So I think kind of what the league is still up in the air. But we feel fortunate to have back who we have and like the group that we're adding to it, and look forward to it.
How would you describe the team this year? Is there a personality or characteristic trait that they kind of all embody?
I would say they're goofy. They're really goofy, and especially as the newcomers kind of get comfortable, the goofiness and the fun part of the game of basketball is coming out. They work extremely hard and they compete and they're tough, but at the end of the day, we like to have a lot of fun and joke around, and maybe that will change when it becomes real and playing time is important, But we have a lot of fun. It's a good group.
Coach, you clean up those little things, and you've got 6, 7 more wins. 6, 7 more baskets here and there. If you can start defending the baseline out of bounds plays.
Yeah.
6, 7 shooters on the team. There's a lot of different ways we could go.
Your players are like, oh no.
They're
no,
mocking
Coach,
me.
no.
Hey, they went to this. I don't know.
No.
All right, Coach, we got to wrap with what's one thing you cannot go without in the mornings?
Oh, in the mornings? I'm a basketball guy. I play ball 3 or 4 times a week with the group that's been playing since I got back from playing overseas, and I just love the game, everything about it. Playing it, watching it, coaching it, being around it, talking it,
So you still get up and down the floor, huh?
You're up early hooping.
I go 3-point line to 3-point line. Still, I know you guys are just talking with lethal shooter. He can't shoot like me, so.
So are you out there playing with your team ever, scrimmaging against them?
They don't want the smoke.
No.
We got practice
They're
guys
just looking
for
at
that.
you like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, they want it. They want that smoke.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. Good luck this year. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you. Congrats on the job.
Yep.
Back at it from Big 12 Basketball Media Days. I am Ari Temkin alongside the former Oklahoma State Hooper, Austin Ivan. And we're joined by a couple of BYU Cougars on the women's basketball side here at Big 12 Media Days, Brindley Cannon and Delaney Gibb. How are you both?
Good.
All right, Delaney, let's start with you. Big 12 Freshman of the Year, led BYU in points, rebounds, and assists. So, what's next?
Great question. Honestly, this season, I'm super excited for it. I'm looking to kind of take on a bit more of a leadership role. I feel like coming in as a freshman, it's kind of, uncertain on what your role is going to be. But being one of the returners this season, I really can, be more of a leader, be more of a vocal leader. I've always kind of led by example, but I'm, really working on being more vocal with my teammates and on our team. And honestly, just kind of building off last year, trying to improve in all aspects of my game, but really focusing on being more of a leader.
Brindley, you're also looking to take that next step. You've been on a lot of watch list and breakout players. So how are you pushing yourself, and what are you really trying to improve on in these last few months and this next month going forward until the season starts?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I have been working on and wanting to improve on, but I think the main thing basketball-wise is just being able to hit shots, especially catch and shoot threes, just knock down those shots for my team, and then
as well as that, just making plays, helping kind of put that pressure off Delaney a little bit, is helping create in my own way. Obviously not as a main creator, but just playing that role of being able to create some plays for my teammates and making the right play, whether that's my shot or passing it up, but just being super solid in my role and being consistent throughout the season and just a reliable piece to our team. So,
Delaney, what's Raymond, Alberta, Canada like?
I'm biased. I love Raymond, Alberta, Canada. I think it's great. Hattie's over there giving me a thumbs down. But
thumbs down.
We went to rival high schools, so
that's
I'm
amazing.
not surprised that she's doing that. But Raymond, we're such a small community and we're so close knit that I have so much support from everyone back home. It's great, but really we're such a sports focused community, and so growing up I was always going to all of the games, women's basketball, men's basketball, and going and shooting at halftime, and the gyms would be packed, and so that's kind of where I first developed love for basketball, just being able to watch all of the older players and see my community and how much we love athletes and basketball.
What's one of them most common American misconceptions about Canadians?
Oh my gosh, I've had every question you could even imagine asked to me. I've been asked if we listen to the same music, which Drake is Canadian. Right. So is Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyways, or do we ride moose? Do we live in igloos? So anything you could think of, I've been asked.
And the answer is no, right?
Yes.
I feel like I always had the misconception that Canadians were just weird. But now I know two lovely Canadians, and they're not weird. They're not weird.
I just keep waiting for you to say a boot.
Oh, boot.
A boot.
A boot.
Instead of about?
Oh.
No, I guess not
Boot.
then. No,
Big. Okay.
trying to think of the Canadian accent.
Runners. What is a runner?
Some people
What is a runner?
say
shoes, tennis shoes.
Oh yeah, or toque. Toque is a hat, a beanie. A beanie is a toque.
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 Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, maybe it is a foreign country.
Maybe they are weird.
Maybe they are weird.
Hey, Coach was talking about how he still likes to shoot and play, and he said he doesn't scrimmage against you guys, but have you seen him play? Does he still have it?
He literally just walks up behind us when we're shooting and goes, "You can't guard me." Shoots over our head, we're literally not even turned to the basket. I'm like, bro.
I will say, he is a good shooter. He still is a good shooter. But he probably can't move that well. He's getting a little old, so.
He has been an assistant coach, but now is the head coach. What's it just been like to see him take this next step, and what do you guys like about playing under him?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. I mean, he's such a great coach. He's such a great person, and he really forms genuine relationships with each of his players, it's really cool and it's really fun to be a part of. But honestly, he is such a competitive person, and he wants to win, and he's willing to take opinions from all of our assistant coach and from us as players, and just really try and get to know all of us, but also just use all the information he can in order for us to be successful and really get to know each individual player to put us in positions to be successful.
All right, so we had some fun with Delaney being Canadian. Brinley is from Idaho, so let me ask you this, Delaney. What do you know about Idaho?
Well, I do know that her school mascot was a potato.
Russet.
Because of course it is. Isn't every high school in Idaho have a potato?
Nope, just ours.
That's amazing. The russets or the russet potatoes?
The russets. Shelly russets.
That's amazing. All right, what's the biggest misconception about Idaho? It's that everybody has everybody has potatoes in their backyard?
Yeah. I don't know. Just everyone's redneck farmer. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it, but
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of.
I feel like there's other, but I feel like there's other states where that is way more prevalent.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't know.
Like Mississippi, but yeah, chalk that one up to Mississippi. Idaho's kind of like that, but in the mountains. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
Idaho.
should the perception of Idaho be?
I don't.
What's great
Good
about
people.
Idaho?
Brindley Cannon's homeland.
Brindley Cannon, home of Brindley Cannon, home of the mighty Russets.
What do you guys like to do outside of basketball? I mean, what are the hobbies? What's the team doing on the off day? Anything fun or different?
We like to do a lot of fun things. I don't know, like we went to like a couple haunted attractions this Halloween. Like in the summer, we're tanning, boating. I don't know, kind of everything.
We've really been in Halloween spirit the past couple weeks. So
Are we dressing up for Halloween? Like, what, we have it already planned?
See, our costumes are a secret because we can't let our coaches know.
Ooh.
So, but it's gonna be good.
Is Halloween a thing in Canada?
No, this is my first Halloween.
I was being serious. Is it or is it not?
It is. It is.
Okay. I don't know. Clearly,
Misconception.
Yeah, clearly I'm a dumb American. I don't know. I know you don't ride moose and live in igloos, okay? I just didn't know.
You had Halloween.
Yeah. Hey, clearly you don't celebrate the 4th of July. There's Canada Day.
True. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanksgiving? No Thanksgiving.
no Thanksgiving. See, thank
we
you.
have our own Thanksgiving.
Brindley Cannon, Delaney Gibb, good luck this year to both of you. Really high expectations. Can't wait to see your team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're talking BYU women's basketball here at Big 12 Media Day in Kansas City.